morning. We are live doing Infinity Tower D&D. How could we possibly be any happier? Those happy faces. There's a Sean. Hopefully the camera's not on. I miss you guys so much when we're not playing D&D and I'm not doing anything else. Last time. Why am I going into my thing already? I didn't do any promos. I didn't do anything. I'm looking at the words on my page too much.
You're excited.
Okay, we're looking forward to playing some D&D. We have some sponsors. We love them. They do great stuff. There's Ambient Realms. They're helping us put together all this sound stuff that I'm pushing the volume knob up and down for. Check out ambientrealms.com for ambient sounds and effects for your games. Look at this. I'm this ready. I'm really this ready, but I didn't pot it out again. Okay, seriously, Hans? You were ready. Oh, yeah. Let's push a button to make sound. It would be funny if it wasn't every week, but since it is every week, it still makes it funny, right?
Sure. Repetition is the key to comedy.
Here's a new one for everybody. Wow. Oh, that was a real one. That was a fireball. Everybody likes a fireball,
you're trying
right?
to meow.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Where's the fireball, dude?
Yeah, the fireball need to be well.
It's already gone off.
I know I only have one job, but there are like at least 16 buttons on this pad, and I know you would all do it better. So that's it.
There are
I'm
88
done.
buttons on a piano. They call them keys.
Like I said, you guys are clearly more qualified than I am, but don't worry, I'm going to keep doing this, and it won't get any better. Okay, Ambient Realms supports Huntington's Disease Society of America and Autism Speaks. You have to make hand gestures. It helps. Get
Got it.
Leveled out. Thank you. Arknight is our other sponsor. They do flat plastic minis. Here's a guy we don't show off enough. It's a werewolf with a sword. That's all you want. Check out their store at arknight.com. We have a follower that we're going to do pretty soon here because we already hit our follower goals, but let's keep going. Let's do another follower goal. Let's do subscriber goals. If you guys are hitting any of these things, if you like the show, if you like the channel, join us. We really appreciate it. It helps us do what we do. And then for you guys, hopefully you win something. Tomorrow, are we on Cat?
I mean, the whole
Cat?
table's there.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Cat, how's it going?
Good. So tomorrow night on Adrenochrome, we are doing the continuation of Blades in the Dark. It's gonna be freaky weird. So watch it. It's at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. because we start 1/2 hour later.
It's dark. It's got to be dark.
It's gotta be dark for Blades in the Dark. I also stab people.
Yep. I also don't think that should be their tagline anytime soon, but if it is, we'd like credit. And then on Thursday, we've got new trippers. Scooter, usual new tripper schedule.
Heck yeah.
Same bad time, same bat program. Probably very few bats. Check out timetotabletop.com. Follow us on Twitch. Comment. Give us ideas. Hashtag Infinity Tower. Comment on how you could use our equipment more effectively. Go for it, guys.
There
Have fun.
actually are a lot of bats and Blades in the Dark.
That makes
FY
sense.
information.
Yeah, crows, right?
Lots of crows.
Gotta have crows everywhere. It's good stuff.
Ah!
Okay, so last time on the Infinity Tower, the crew found themselves in possession of a longboat newly salvaged from the bottom of the bay. Fang, brother of Aurora, asked them how they wanted to proceed, who was going to captain the boat, how many rowers did they want, what supplies would they bring. So the party began to answer those questions. They hired Obriana Sharp, halfling pirate captain, to captain the boat. They also hired 8 rowers. Aurora made a delivery of McBrewer's beer to a local tavern, which was entirely planned, not in any way a surprise. Proving so popular, the tavern was broken to pieces. But Aurora later made good on the problem by delivering a larger supply of McBrewer's beer, which means when you guys go back, town's gone. Just entirely gone.
Yes!
Yep, that's what I'm planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but I wasn't even
Chaos!
And then Theo received a present from a fellow gnome, which is a rocket propulsion system that could deliver a sudden burst of great speed to their boat.
Yes.
They installed it immediately.
Yes.
Armin and Embers visited Admiral Miles, who thanked them for their service and helped them procure supplies, including sealskin blankets, provisions, and oil grenades. Let's just call them grenades. The ship set sail, and on the second day, the party was beset by orc raiders. Thanks to a combination of bullets, elemental attacks, and fire spells, the orcs were easily overcome, and the party finds itself sailing north towards a lair of Belloc the Bird. So, Allison, how's it going? I would like to give you inspiration in the form of a werewolf guy with a sword for burning everything to a crisp last game.
Oh, I was only
Enjoyed
like 20
that.
orcs.
I know. That's all I had. I only had 20 orcs, just so we're clear. I think one of them survived and got on the boat. Some of them got like washed away at sea, but you know, it's okay. Yep.
One of them got on the boat because I pulled him onto the boat,
That's
and then
true.
I killed him.
And then you got on their boat.
And then I got on their boat, but she was already like fire blasted. She used the magic missiles for no reason.
It's called. That's why we
Apparently
roll.
that gets inspiration.
That's why we roll for initiative. It's important. Plus, you had inspiration the week before. Okay, so we did our housekeeping. That's all set. Do you guys want to go around and talk about yourselves?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to say something? Allison, do you want us to start on the middle of the table maybe, or something else really awkward, or shall we just go to Sean?
Just go to Sean.
Sean, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Where's the camera? It's over there.
It's somewhere.
So weird.
Yeah.
Hey. I'm playing Theo, a gun-toting, rocket-firing.
Accurate.
I will figure out how to put gunpowder in that thing.
Gunpowder in the rocket? Sure. Yeah.
On it and turn it into a device of destruction.
Versus just being a rocket of destruction. Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
More black powder. You can't
What can go wrong, right? I mean, yeah.
Explosions.
I'm just waiting for whoever is standing in the back of the boat to roll a 1. That's all I want.
Jeez. Could be awesome.
For a chick that has nothing to do with fire. Just for like, you know, drinking water.
Yeah. Oops. Oh no. Gotcha.
If you have to roll.
That's
for
true.
drinking water.
Don't throw fire to the back of the boat. And thought that.
Don't tell her how to play D&D, Sean. She knows how to play D&D.
That's true.
Don't throw fire in the back of the boat.
You can-
No,
you
I
can-
heard you said don't throw water at the back of the boat.
Throw fireballs wherever you want now. I
That's
don't
true.
even
I'm sorry.
care.
I apologize.
This is
You didn't
exactly
tell you
how
to
real
play
D&D is
I
played
can
right
use
now.
careful. You don't take
Use
as
careful.
much damage.
So you only got one introduction.
I know. Well, you know, I figured it's important to let us all
I'm not
hear.
sure
I think that's all we
Figure
need
that
for
out.
this evening.
That's
You
good.
know, I think we
good.
need to know who this guy is.
Hey, Will, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Cool. What you doing?
I'm playing D&D.
Yeah? Accurate?
Right now?
Oh, you want some more?
Right.
Okay.
You're going to be a guy who does stuff.
I play Arvin Bly. He is a human cleric, and his main job is to heal people when the gnome inappropriately explodes things, and people get shot with fireballs.
Haha, see,
And
you got
fireballs.
no.
Fireballs.
You
Yeah.
got personally named though. The gnome. We all know who he was talking about.
Man, I wish you could
There's
shoot
only one
fireballs.
gnome right
That'd be
now.
Fireballs could have come from anyone, anywhere.
great. Fair enough.
Sounds accurate. Okay,
Gnome
and
explosions
yeah.
can too.
Hey, I'm Cat 235B. Cat 126 grabbed me from the Citadel and threw me in a portal, and now I'm here pretending to know what I'm doing. I am playing Aura over 9 trees. She's a Tabaxi monk, so I guess she fasts. I don't know.
Well, you're a much better version than that C version.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of different cats that have like been here. It's a lottery system.
Interesting. I didn't know that. It's like playing Paranoia inside of playing D&D. It's good stuff. All
My
right.
brain just exploded.
Well, Allison, we did come to you eventually.
Yes, I am Allison. I play Embers, who explodes things. And maybe, possibly, I cannot confirm or deny if I throw lots of fireballs. Could be someone else, you don't
We
know.
can always review the video.
That's true.
There is no video.
That's disappointing. There's a lot of time spent for nothing. Wow. Okay. So let's not challenge Allison on any more things she does, lest she get rid of any more of our footage. Okay, yeah. So we know what's going on. We know where you all are. You are on the Proud Keel, which is the super dope boat. That's right over here.
It was Aurora's boat for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, then she gave it away, just
Yeah.
like everything else. It's a good life policy.
Been trying to give away Theophraxis for months now.
You know,
I keep coming back.
Slightly used no.
so let's take stock. When we finished last game, we were directly after the orc battle, because apparently time passes more quickly when you're killing lots of orcs. So we just kind of lost track of ourselves. So we just finished the second battle of these 2 longship battles. You can see like the wreckage is still kind of floating out there in the distance. You hear that last little like blub 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 of drowning orcs, border orcs. And then for you all on the boat, everyone's pretty hardy and hale, but there were some arrows fired into the boat. A couple of the sailors got hit. Brianna absorbed several arrows herself, and there's another lady who is up here in the front who seems to have taken an arrow in the thigh. And she's sitting there, she's still on the bench, and she's actively wrapping a bandage around her leg and just tightening down on it, trying to keep the blood from flowing.
How many sailors got hit?
So right now, her and O'Brien, you already took care of O'Brien.
Okay. I'll approach the one with the arrow and die.
Okay, you do that.
Okay. And I'm going to remove the arrow and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, so you go to take the arrow out of her leg, and when you put your hand on her leg, she grabs your hand hard, and she is holding on with a rower's strength. What are you doing?
I'm going to take this arrow out of your leg, and I'm going to keep you from bleeding to death. Is that okay?
Fine. This is a stupid plan.
The arrow or keeping you from bleeding to death?
I think both of those things are fine right now, but this is a stupid plan, sailing north after who knows what.
You are getting paid. You signed up for this, yes?
I did sign up for this.
Okay.
You're gonna get all of us killed for nothing.
There's
Nothing or something. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right.
Okay, I'm going to test. So that is 12.
Great. You get the wound healed up. The bandage is like still soaked with blood, but otherwise totally useless at that point. She doesn't need it for anything. She's still glaring at you.
Look, we have ways to get out of here, but you are being paid handsomely. You knew the risk signing on, so what do you want?
There are 13 people on this boat. How long are you going to keep doing that if something bad happens?
As much as I have to.
Is that all we're going to do? Are we just going to keep going north until everyone's dead?
You can leave at any time. I gesture to the sea.
And she actually looks like she might be considering it. She starts looking over and she looks to the rower on her left. And there's kind of like this, well, you're not sure what's going on right away. If you want to roll an insight check on it, feel free to. But they have a moment.
Okay. So, 20.
So you get this, I told you this was going to happen look from her face. And the guy who's on the bench next to her nods. And it does not feel like a comfortable moment.
Okay. So, is there a problem here? Are you, you knew the risk signing on here? Are you having, what's the word here? Buyer's remorse? I don't know what it is. Regrets? Because if you have concerns, I suggest you communicate them to us and your captain.
How many people do you think have gone north trying to stop Velo?
Not a clue.
Is it 2?
At least 2. No one comes back.
Well, we're aiming to change that.
Is it 3?
You have the strong feeling that she does not trust you.
Well, look, as long as you do your job, we're going to do our job. And if things go well, we're going to come back and you're going to be set for life as far as gold goes. So you can either keep working or...
She breaks eye contact and he just kind of sits back on the bench.
Right. Well, if there's nothing further.
Are you like worried about moving or something?
And you gotta remember this boat is 40 feet long, so everybody's pretty much always next to everybody else. Just a thought.
Okay. So if we're on such a small boat, did anybody else hear this nearby? Or...
Everybody heard that.
Okay.
That was definitely not a private conversation.
Okay, fine. Then I turn around and address the boat. And that goes for the rest of you. If any of you has any qualms about what we're doing here, there you go. We'll figure out a way to get up there.
Have you mentioned to them the hazard pay?
No, I didn't.
Anybody that takes any injuries gets an additional 5 gold per injury that they take.
How about that?
Don't be injuring yourselves. We're gonna know the difference. If all of a sudden somebody's missing fingers in the night without being attacked, that's like not okay. If you get injured while we're fighting orcs,
I'm gonna start coming.
because we appreciate each and every one of you. And I put my hands on the shoulder of somebody that looks like they're friendly.
Okay, one of the rowers, you put your hand on his shoulder, he seems startled.
We understand that you guys do something that we don't know how to do because we're filthy landlubbers. And we appreciate your efforts. Yes, you too. And you. And you. And especially you. So let's give a big hand to you. Right? Come on.
Obriana politely claps in the back. The thing that's really weird is right now Fang is being totally silent.
All right. If you'll excuse me, I have some meditating to do. And then I climb to the top of the crow's nest.
You do that. Obriana says, "Back to the oars." And she starts like stomping down, putting like a pretty simple beat, and everybody's picking oars back up. And they start, again, slowly going forward.
It didn't seem like the anger was working. So.
I'll take Bly off to the side. I can back a little bit and I'll whisper to him.
You guys are over by the tiller where Obriana is. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
You have very few
We'll cover
choices.
yours.
yeah, there you go. So, 5 gold per entry.
That's Aurora, but
Where do you think that's going to come from?
my share of that thing. I'll have to pay just as long as we get there.
We're giving him a lot of pay to give out. That's a lot of gold.
I would love to communicate my thoughts back to them, but
If
Interesting
those two on the
comment.
front
As you were
have
saying
a-
that, Fang starts climbing up and like handily sits on the crossbeam next to you.
If those two are already questioning, then it's going to spread. So
I don't think that went very well.
well,
just
I
wanna
didn't
hang
think
out.
threatening the crew was really being very helpful either.
No, but
What do you suggest we
I'm
do?
not sure Brianna has
Should we
picked all
lash
the
him?
right crew for this.
This
Or
is
at least
is
an
that
easy.
what people do? You're a pirate now.
Maybe
right?
there's something here we're missing.
What? Sure.
Definitely
I'm
seems
totally
to
a
be-
pirate right now. I say we make him walk the plank.
There definitely seems
Every
to be
single
something
one.
off about those two. But what I would say is either they're all together with Obriana and they have something that they're going to do against you. And this is all whispered, mind you. Because
Yeah,
she's,
you guys are up on the
Yeah.
mast.
if she's mad at you, then this would be a good time to do something.
I actually hadn't thought of that. That's a good point.
Or she just hired the strongest roars without thinking about anything. But if this was a group of people conscripted, knowing that they were going into battle with a battle captain, which was my impression at any rate, I'm surprised at the reticence.
I'm hoping it's just jitters. I'm hoping we've got sailors where they just saw combat they weren't totally ready for.
Yeah. But I'll tell you that I don't expect all of them are going to live to collect the hazard pay and 5 gold per injury.
I think your friend Embers, she may get a little more than they expected too. It's kind of a fast battle for the sea battle.
I mean,
Between you and her and the gnome with his gun, I mean, everyone was dealt with fairly quickly there.
well, I mean, that's what we're good at. We certainly can't sail a boat, you know.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe too many of them lived and they have too many things to talk about. They've got too much to worry about now.
Yeah. I just
Sailors are
thought
weird.
if money doesn't make them happy, I don't know what's going to make them happy. As a general rule, that makes the what's the polite term for them? Humans. That's usually what makes humans happy.
I shipped a couple small casks of liquor as part of our supplies, just so you know. Not enough to really have a good time, but maybe enough to make people feel better about being out here when that comes up.
Fair enough. Do you think now would be a good time, or should we wait a little?
I think it's obvious now. Maybe give it just a little while, maybe we'll make it into a party later on.
That makes sense. I mean, I just think that we need to show them appreciation. This sort of thing happens all the time whenever Bly talks. He doesn't know how to say things. Like, he's the nicest guy I've ever met, but he doesn't know how to say things in a nice way. And he certainly isn't used to sailors. He's used to military folk who bark orders at each other all day.
I don't know, I don't think that was just him. I think there's something, but
I mean, I think
We'll
there's something going on, too. I agree with you. The best thing I can think of is try to get them to like us more than whoever they currently like,
maybe
which is definitely somebody.
it's kind of an edgy thing, sailing out here.
Well, sure. I mean, they are sailing into incredibly dangerous waters, which means that they're either greedy or foolish.
I guess we'll find out over time. All right, and he just kind of like does like the back end of a chin up and comes down off of the mast.
Cool.
Drops back down the ship.
I'm just gonna be meditating for the next hour.
Okay. And Embers, how are you doing on the ship?
She's just holding her tail because it keeps swishing and hitting the boat. So it's making like thudding noises. And she's filing her nails and her horns. Just trying to not take up space.
And yeah, there's no space to be taken, right? It's a very tight quarters on this boat.
She kind of takes up some space.
Yep. And that's the big thing is during this next period of time, it starts getting a lot quieter again. That wind just kind of like goes out of the sails. The ocean really quiets down. Everything just starts feeling again very heavy, slow. And there's not like an Arctic wind, you know, it's not very cold in the wind, but there's just a pressure. There's a lot of people they're just rowing. That's all they have to do, but on the other hand, they've also got a lot of time just to think. Very few sounds.
I'm just seeing if I have like a spell to just kind of entertain people for a while, maybe.
I'm just gonna sit back and let them do their thing.
Sure. Step back amounts to sit in the middle of the ship quietly.
That's right.
There's not really anywhere else to go, so.
I guess something I can do is, I remember a little tale from when I was a kid where I was the funniest one I can think of, which is like all of 2 maybe. And I kind of like using minor illusion to sort of like maybe kind of play it out kind of like comic book style maybe. The best way I can.
Go ahead and make a performance check.
So just sort of entertain myself.
Sure.
I'm brain farting.
So performance is going to be
Performance.
charisma skill, yep.
Yeah. Nat 20, 23.
Wow. It's been a long time since you used magic for fun. Do you enjoy the experiences? Is it something where it just like it feels like it gives you a chance to, as an outlet, like to let some stuff out, or how does it feel?
I think at first it feels kind of rusty, and then as I start doing it more and more, I start trying to incorporate more, like, not really sounds, but I try, you know, like, maybe I can kind of try to animate it if I just use this little, like, magical loophole, or try to do this, so I'm just trying to, like, kind of really go at it, and I'm experimenting the very wide range that is minor illusion.
Okay. And it's something simple like a puppet show, but it gets put on in a way that's very entertaining and like engaging and
Kind of like
it's
a
magic.
silent picture, sort of, almost, yeah.
right. Something else that seems to be working here is you've intimidated this whole crew through your display of fire magic earlier, so everyone is in awe of you in the first place. So you put that together with this really like elaborate use of minor illusion, and it's very clearly you have their attention.
Okay. I make sure that the story I tell has nobody burning alive or anything like that.
Sure, like, okay, so out of all my childhood stories, I've got one.
What?
So,
One that's happy and funny and people aren't dying in
and you
it.
just won't do that one part where everyone is on fire.
Yeah,
right? Just-
maybe
you'll
I
see
have
that.
to skip that.
That's right. It's
Change it to like shaving clears.
good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so you entertain the crew for a period of time. The illusion is enjoyable. As it gets darker, O'Brianna makes a comment that she wants to make sure that she can see where they're going. This is a critical navigation time for her, like as the sun fades out and as the stars start to really show. So she kind of focuses in, and you notice there's a lot of adjusting going on, and seem to hone in more in the direction she wants to have.
Okay, so yeah, it's when she said that she needed to go away, I turned it off.
Okay. So that goes on for some time. Night comes. The rowers start alternating. So there's half the crew rowing, then the other half of the crew rowing, so everybody gets a chance to sleep. For all of you, are you doing anything interesting? Just hanging out, enjoying the boat?
I'm not sure if the wine suggestion was for tonight or for tomorrow night.
That's a good question. So you ask Fang, and he says, "Oh, I almost forgot." And he goes into like the small hold, and he takes out just one cask like this, and he says, "It's pretty potent. And with sailors, you don't want to give them too much. They don't have anywhere to go to really enjoy themselves." So
No problem. So I'm gonna sing a sea shanty, and I'm gonna bring around wine for the people that are currently on their breaks, not the ones that are rowing, because I feel like rowing and drinking at the same time is probably a terrible, terrible idea.
And, you know, as you're saying that, it's not that bad. They've done this before, but
Then I'll just
But-
bring it to everybody.
just be careful, I guess. As you're going through this all, too, you find it's not wine, it's brandy.
Oh,
So
excellent.
it's fairly strong, but all the more reason to give everybody just a tiny cup.
Yeah.
So everyone gets a ration, and there's some like nodding and approving and so forth. And you're starting to get the feeling, maybe an insight check,
Okay.
because we haven't really discussed this. Maybe we actually use the dice for things.
Sure, do you need me to make a performance check too, or just insight?
If you want a performance check following this, you can totally do
Sure.
that.
The insight is 18.
Okay, cool. That's more than sufficient.
Okay, and performance is crappy.
Okay,
8.
8. Well, the good news is you just bribed with liquor. Let's go ahead and roll one more time with advantage.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, liquor plus performing. And you know, you have embers, you're just going
Yeah.
right after it.
Okay, well then that's a 17.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. So, as this is going, first off, you get the feeling that the thing that Fang is doing is he's playing good cop, bad cop. He is playing sympathetic to the what's the term, sailors, because they know him and they know who he is and so forth. And so there's a little bit of a you versus him dynamic that he's exploiting at this point.
Oh, I'm the bad cop?
You are the foreigner. You are the landlubber. And so it seems like he's using that just to make sure that he stays in their good side in case anything comes up. But you're able to catch that after a little bit of time here.
Well, I'm okay with them liking my brother because I'm related to him.
Right. And it seems like he's just trying to make sure that all the bases are covered, that he knows what they're planning and how they're acting and so forth. He's being a little bit more familiar to them. And so he's not really super close to you as all this goes on. But the performance goes well based on the fact that they just watched a magical puppet show and then now they've got some lovely flute,
Well, I was singing a sea shanty.
sea shanty, just singing. Okay, but
It's hard to play the flute and serve.
yeah, there's that. All right. Unless you roll like a really good roll. But okay, so you've got that going. And then the nice thing about a sea shanty is they know them all.
Right.
So then after a little while, there's some, gentle singing, and you find out sailors overall don't have terrible voices. Apparently, there's one of the few things you can do is sing, because, otherwise you're rowing. So all
Right.
these sailors also, they sound okay.
Probably helps pick up the energy too if they're drinking and singing.
Right. So all these things, they're better. Things are better, people seem okay, the mood lightens.
Great.
Yeah. Morale seems up. So time goes by, people are overall happy, the boat continues forward. There's just really a pressing calmness about the water. The waves are barely lapping at the boat. There's no movement of air. You can't even tell the difference between the tides really at this point. You're not skilled boat people, but it doesn't feel like there's really anything going on.
I am skilled with wood, though, so if the damages to the boat are something that's wood related, I might actually be able to patch it.
Negligible. There's some arrow holes. You're taking some arrowheads out of the boat here and there, but you only had a couple of volleys of arrows.
Yeah.
Basically nothing happened during that entire time. I think we had something where somebody chopped like the edge of the boat.
Yeah.
That was about it. Yeah. So time passes still.
Well, I'm going to spend my time examining the rocket very carefully and taking detailed drawings of it and figuring out how to improve it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
Maybe get
mean,
a little extra burst out of it.
so you have a pretty good idea of the outside, and it really just comes down to what is the chemical composition inside. How much gunpowder and what else and things like that. And that's really the only thing you're not totally sure of with this.
I'll just spend time
Yeah.
just sort of drawing pictures of the boat and of the crew and stuff like that. Just
Okay.
make the time go by.
Okay. Yeah. Are you making them look good? Are you making them look good? Are these like anatomical, like figure?
Oh yeah, I mean, actually try to
drawings?
draw them. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, like an actual replica,
Okay.
live looking picture for them,
Yeah. Good.
just to kind of document it because I don't have anything else to do right now.
Yep. That sounds accurate.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Is your character skilled at drawing? I didn't even know
No,
that.
he's not.
But he's a machinist.
But as a
so he's got
machinist, yeah.
some
So,
idea.
so maybe one of the things I'll start doing is that as I realize I'm not very good at doing life drawing, I'll start transforming their images into more and more, get it progressively more mechanical.
Okay.
So
Go ahead and make
turn them into-
let's see, like a tinkering roll based on intelligence.
17.
Okay, so you haven't innovated boat craft yet or anything like that, but based on like their rhythm and the cycle of rowing and so forth, you're starting to get some ideas on how you would make a like self-propelling boat. It's like, well, I would have to get the timing, and there would have to be this and that, but you have some ideas here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so I'll start thinking on that and how that might get away from actually needing an engine versus something like this.
Maybe you can also
Or
come
this
up
is
with
an
like
engine.
and you have a general idea like, okay, so here's like my ratio of people to effectiveness. If we lost half our rowers, like right now we're rowing half power, here's how fast we can move.
Right. Yeah. So I'll start taking down all those notes and stuff.
Yeah, so you've got some equations at this point.
Yeah. Do that kind of stuff.
Cool. Okay. Marvin, are you going to do anything?
If any of the sailors on break want to, I'll engage them in a game of dice for some coppers, but that's about it.
Okay. Yep. That sounds like a persuasion roll, a very easy persuasion roll to see if anybody wants to dice with you.
Just finding gamblers.
12.
Great. What's your strategy here? Are you trying to win, lose, just play?
I'm just playing.
Okay.
If they take some coppers from me, shucks.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead and make a perception roll.
Okay, so that's going to be 19.
19. You are easily able to tell that after a few games of dice, one of the sailors in the back who agreed to dice with you has pocketed your dice and is rolling fixed dice.
Okay.
Smack a sailor.
I'm going to shake up the dice. So, the funny thing about serving in the Army, and, before I roll these next set of dice, I just want to share something with you. The funny thing about serving in the Army, and maybe you understand after serving so long at sea, is you become attached to things. I mean, they're yours, these little dinky things that, you haul around and they take on a special meaning after a while. It could be anything at all. It could be a favorite weapon. It could be a favorite toy. And as I say that, I take the dice and I throw them over the boat. So it's up to you whether you want to give those back or whether you want to join your fixed dice.
He drops it. Good playing with you. And just pushes the dice cup away.
Thank you. Here's some copper for your time.
It's like
Armin's got some anger.
It's cool.
I don't often get to use the intimidation thing, so I figured.
We're going to get HR to talk to him about his employee. So, it's okay.
Aurora's
All
just
right.
up there sleeping now because she
Yep.
kind of was taking drinks for every drink she gave.
Okay. Yeah, right. Apparently that cast got light quickly.
I mean, just like
No, we're all
little sips, not like chugs, but
Yeah, but you did drink. Yeah, so you just drank
A lot of
like
little-
6 people's worth of rations. So
No, like 3 or 4 people.
the cups were like that big.
Yeah, I took a little sip out of each.
Uh-huh.
A little sip.
Fang reminds you, no, we were trying to make that would last for the entire journey. I think next time maybe I should hand out the liquor and maybe... How did we do that? How did I hand out the...
I took little sips out of the
How
cups
did you
I
manage to get little
poured.
sips? When I was...
Little sips out of the cups. I didn't pour additional liquor to make up for the little
No,
sips.
next time we do this, no sea shanties. I think it was very distracting. I don't think that you should be involved the next time we hand out liquor.
Wake up, have a little back to someone.
Everything on a boat has very fixed quantities.
Yes, that's why I only took little sips out of the cup after it had been poured. I didn't pour
That's
additional.
That's their ration.
I took like a little tiny bit of their ration.
It's like taking a little bit, a tiny bit of their pay. They won't like it.
They know it's not poison that way.
It's alcohol.
You can easily poison alcohol. I could poison all this alcohol.
All right, that's a good point. You could poison. Oh, right. It's okay.
So I was obeying the tradition that I was taught by Father of proving to your guests that you're not poisoning them.
Father liked drinking.
Yes, Father.
Likes drinking.
Father also liked poisoning people.
Yes, that's fair. I feel very different when I'm at sea than when I'm on land, And I'm on land, everything's kind of, it's not as serious. But when you're on a boat, there's nowhere to go. I'd like to keep everyone on the boat, if possible.
Okay. Well, next time out, I will not partake in their liquor with them. I was just trying to be polite.
I actually keep a log. He pulls out this little notebook. He said, look, I tally things up, and I count how many of the things there are, and I make sure that we have enough to last the whole journey.
Uh-huh.
When was the last time you saw me count something, to make sure there was enough of something? I tell you, I feel very different on the boat, Aurora.
Yes, I can see that. Sometimes I carry a log with me in order to carve an owl.
It's a different sort of log.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. And he just kind of leans back. I'm sorry, I really like being on a boat.
Oh, I get you.
It's very freeing, but on the other hand, too, there's something that's very... It requires a discipline that you don't need on land. You can always stop doing something when you're on land.
Brother, I would be level with you right now. I'm always very disciplined.
Yes, you have your own brand of discipline. And typically I feel the same way, but it's on a boat. You have to connect with your fellow sailors, otherwise you never know where you're going to end up.
That's why I was drinking with them.
Alright, fair. That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna go sleep now.
Alright.
I'm gonna go off to sleep.
Ember said go.
I'm probably sleeping at this point.
That's good. Seems like a good thing. And the way to sleep on a boat is apparently with a sealskin blanket up to like your neck, according to everybody else on the boat. Occasionally, if the sea was less calm, there might be like a wave that comes over the side or something like that. But right
Can I
now,
somehow,
there's
like,
not really
have
anything.
shields go off every time the water turns on.
Yeah, that could be a thing, right? But not tonight.
No.
Tonight, it is calm.
Yeah, I'll be fine because I got the boots of frost. So.
It's true.
That is true. Okay. I have a feeling if anybody's still up, it's Arwen. I don't think the boat is agreeing with you very well. After a period of time, you hear like tiny stomping feet as Oberana comes up to you and says, join you back here at the tiller.
Okay.
She gets you to sit as far back in the boat as possible, so you have the rocket basically pointing right up against your head. But that's just a coincidence, because what she's really trying to do is stick you in the very back. And she's got the tiller where it's fixed in place, and she's turned around and looked at you. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I don't think you're doing very well on this boat.
What do you mean?
You seem on edge.
I'm not used to being at sea. I'll give you that. And I've never been this. What's the word? When you're on a ship like this, sitting so close to people, I've never been this intimate with my crewmates who treat like this.
Sea law is totally different than land law. I don't know if you got this when you were in Northwall, but they treat things very different. Everyone on a ship, if they're not equal, they've at least got a job. But everyone has to do their job, or else there's got to be discipline.
Okay, am I not doing my job then?
No, I'm telling you that people are used to running their mouth a little bit, doing their thing, but they do their job.
Okay.
But sailors don't like to be told what to do. Do you know most sailors can read?
Okay.
How many people in the army do you know that read?
Well, I see what you're saying.
They get more time to themselves. They develop a skill set. They know they're good at something. That's why sailors are more expensive than land troops. These are people where they've got a very specialized set of skills. We need them. We need them to stay a little bit happy and do their jobs.
All right.
Yes, some of them, like her, go cheat at dice. But
Well, those were my dice, and I wanted them back, and I needed to prove a point. If somebody was going to try and get something over, I think that wasn't going to happen.
if you really need discipline, we get discipline sailors. That's something we do. But otherwise, again, it's going to be a long trip. Especially at this rate, we're making about 3/4 of the progress I expected us to make. We're going really slow. There's no wind. I don't know what's going on. There should be some wind. But if we have to row the whole way there, it's going to get tighter and tighter. they're going to get tired.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna hang back with you back here, man.
Won't that be pleasant? What I'm saying is just in general, be aware of the fact that sailors are different than soldiers. That's it. And as she starts trying to maneuver the tiller, there is no room, and she's just like constantly scraping it against your chest.
There is no room for Arvin anywhere on this boat.
I was thinking the same thing, really.
It's the overboard.
But you know, I mean,
I'll wake up from my sleep at that point and give his butt a little kick like I'm going to kick him overboard. Get him overboard! Get him overboard!
We could just take like a piece of wood attached to the boat and the water just pull you with us.
it's
That's the
hard.
timeout log.
This is why I don't like to have a lot of
She
extra
hires
people on a
every
boat
month.
or extra cargo, because you know you want it to run fast, and because there's never any room for anything on these boats. Just be glad it's not cargo.
Yet.
Yeah, and she.
I'll
No, it's
remove
fine.
myself.
I think I've got my course. We're fine. And time passes. Yeah, back to sleep. The sun rises. I know.
As does Arvin.
No, I wasn't going pretty lines. I'm just telling you, it's time. The sun is up, so you're up. Yeah, again, very limited room everywhere. Obriana's like leaning back on the tiller, and she's not like sleeping, but she's like half dozing. She's just conserving energy, it seems like. There's a little rowing going on, but everything's just kind of slow.
I'm gonna do another Arcana check just to see
Uh-huh.
if I detect any magic around here.
Okay. Yep.
Another 20.
Yeah.
So that makes it 26.
Nice.
So sadly.
And then she's like, "Oh, I roll this 20."
I'm not
so
gonna
life
use
is
any
so
20s
sad.
I just don't know.
next
For
meeting.
fighting, yeah, for anything that actually counts. Well, the good news is, yeah, you feel in the way that sorcerers know how magic works innately. On that same innate level, you know there are other sorcerers that are affecting the way the world is working right now. This storm system, this weather, this ocean, there's definitely someone who has the same sort of magical energy as you that is affecting all of this. Maybe multiple people, but it's definitely the sort of energy you get from another sorcerer.
Can I somehow think of a way to like define who it is or find out who it is?
Sure, you rolled 20. So it seems to you that this is a system, like, if you look ahead, and if you look at how things are shaped right now, it's definitely going to be coming from the water and from in front of you if you have to pinpoint, because it seems to be getting stronger and more focused as you go in this direction. So whatever it is, you're sailing right at it.
So who's the closest person to me?
That's pretty much.
I'm probably in the back.
Yeah, so in the back we've got Arvin and Theo and Obriana. Next to you is mostly sailors, and Fang sitting at the base of the mainsail.
So I'm gonna kind of lean back towards you guys and be like, Ayla.
Aelin?
Ayla. I'm just gonna write it in big words on my paper. There's an N at the end.
And you have a handle on her kind of sorcerer, by the way, before you announce anything just in case. She is a dragon sorcerer like yourself.
Okay, can I determine if like I think it's Ayla ahead?
Sure. Yeah, you're sure it's not. Because it doesn't feel like a dragon kind of thing. It feels like someone's affecting the weather.
So I lean back and I kind of whisper to you guys, there's something magical up ahead, and it's affecting how fast we're getting there.
Something magical,
Like,
thing. Ooh, or-
probably a person. I don't think they want us coming there. Or they're making it very difficult.
So they know we're coming. Whoever they are.
They either know we're coming or this is just like a safety precaution.
Well, we have the rocket.
We do.
I don't think I'm near them while they're having this conversation.
You're probably in the crow's nest, right?
I mean, that's where I had planned on her falling asleep.
So they're going to be down here back by the tiller more than anything else. But your passive perception is pretty good.
Yeah.
How are you sleeping? Are you keeping an ear out for them?
I mean, at this point, I've slept kind of a lot, so I might like. They're talking at like human whisper, which is still pretty loud for a cat.
Sure. Sounds good to me. Yeah, if you want to interact, go ahead and interact.
Huh?
There's no reason for dice to get in the way of this.
Embers, is there anything you think you could do to counter this?
What are you guys talking about?
Or says that this wind is sort of the lack of supernatural caused by some embers.
Oh yeah.
Can I do another check to see if a counter spell would work? In a weird sense.
You have a feeling whatever this is that's going on, that a counter spell at this range is probably not going to be effective. It seems like you're dealing with like the after effect of something bigger, or maybe some sort of magical effect that is being amplified. But in your immediate area, you don't have anything to counter spell.
So you're saying this is a magic user like you that can control the weather?
I don't know if they're controlling the weather, but this is definitely something happened, and this is kind of like the result of it.
Because I know of beings that live out in the forest that can control the weather. And I've met certain hunters that can control the weather.
This is definitely a sorcerer. Can I roll some sort of like insight check to see if there's something I can do?
You mean, alright, well, let's just keep it Arcana. So, at this point, based on where you're at, unless you come up with some way of, like, breaking their connection to this magic, which I could see you doing with a fairly high Dispel Magic roll, or maybe if you just, like, super knock it out of the park on an Arcana check. But you can't do a Ritual Magic, right? So, you're gonna need something to amplify your magic. You gotta come up with some way to juice what you're able to normally do.
Yeah. I mean, besides, like, you have to have your.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, attach that to a battery. I don't.
Right, yeah, that's what you need. You need, like, your Red Bull or your, like, some sort of supercharger attached to this thing. You need to come up with a way to, like, come up with a magical effect that will enhance what you can do right now.
So, like, I need a red minotaur.
Yes, exactly. Red Minotaur. It's totally a thing.
It's for heroes. Oh, man.
Well, do you know how big the effect is? Is it the entire ocean, or is it just? Are we just happening to be going through it right now, or are we being targeted? Does someone know around here?
I think its reach. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it had like kind of an immediate like effective area, but it's reached out beyond that. So you know how like when you shoot an arrow, the most effective area is between like something to something, and then after that it's like not as effective. It's kind of like that.
The undead don't get tired. They can roll forever. So they might as well set something like this up, wear out their enemies as they approach. Yes?
Makes sense.
Makes sense to you?
The undead.
Well, I mean, we are talking about the undead. We are approaching a revenant, which is an undead.
I don't know what a revenant is.
Isn't it? Weren't we told he's a revenant?
You were told Balak is a revenant.
Yes, and that's all my character knows. She doesn't really know what a revenant is.
This mic.
Again, we have a rocket.
You absolutely have a rocket.
And what's the nautical length that that rocket's going to move us?
I don't know. Well, actually, I could probably calculate it.
Yep. Boat is
sit down.
average. The boat right now has like a 30-foot type move,
Uh-huh.
and we're talking about you having double movement for 12 seconds, which is 2 rounds.
That's
It is
not
a-
very far.
It's a big boat. I mean, you only attach one rocket to it,
Okay.
so you're gonna get some thrust, but it's like combat round thrust.
Okay, never mind. It's actually more for a last minute escape. Let's call it rocket speed.
So yeah, we don't want to use it to just get closer to the thing.
Right, you want to use it in
Yeah.
case we have to get away from speed in a hurry.
And this is its reach, yeah.
Could I rig up something to make bigger oars?
Make bigger oars.
Yeah, so that each one of their for each pull they're actually pulling in some more water. So
I don't think that's how oars work.
I think the big thing you're gonna run into here is that all the wood on the boat is actively being used by the boat.
Do you? how far can we get something? Like shooting an arrow or just shooting something. How far can we send something, you think? If you have anything that can enhance the distance something goes, 'cause maybe we can just attach something to something and just throw it out as far as it can go and just sort of see what happens.
I have the rifle. I think that rifle's the longest distance, right? So
What's our rifle distance? Like 600? Something crazy.
yeah, no, it's let's see, the musket's 800.
It's gonna be something crazy.
Yeah, musket's got 800 now. So yeah, I mean that's as far as I can get something out, and it's longer than is that longer than a longbow?
It's around. It's got to be a little bit better. I think it's right around there, a little bit better.
Yeah, I think they're.
I have a quick question, and
Okay.
it's not really something regulated by the book, but my character is an elemental monk.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering to what extent I can sort of attune myself. Like, I mean, I have a thing called elemental attunement.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering if maybe a mixture between her magic and my like attunement to the elements might help figure things out.
I'm feeling that. That sounds like a good way to do this. Okay, so one of you is going to have to take point and say you're going to affect the weather. The other of you is going to be giving advantage to that roll. You're going to have to roll, and it's going to cost each of you a point. You got to spend a sorcery point. You got to spend a key point.
Sure, that makes sense. I'll say that you're probably the one doing the rolling since we're trying to affect arcane magic.
Okay, so would this be like an Arcana roll for me?
Yep. It'll be an Arcana roll for you if you're doing it. You're going to have advantage because of the fact that Kat's assisting you. And then you're spending a sorcery point. She's spending a key point.
Right, so I'm spending a key point basically to attune myself to where the disturbance of the weather is coming from, right?
Just kind
Yeah,
of
you're
straight
trying to
ahead.
basically like latch into the normal cycle of weather and like preserve the natural.
Okay,
I'm gonna
Say,
cast guidance on you, so add a d4 to your roll.
There you go. So this is how you do
Okay, so first we'll see which one is the higher roll. Told you I was disappointed about those 20s. Okay. 21 plus 27.
Okay, that's pretty good. It's not subtle. Now, you are a gold dragon sorcerer,
Yeah.
and so the way this works is not like suddenly things stop being bad. There's this moment where Embers gets like very warm. Like you can actually see she is like slightly steaming in this early morning where the water vapor is like breaking off of her and dissipating. And Aurora's over here, and what form is your elemental attunement? Like, are you directly channeling energy at her, or what are you doing with it?
like I'm channeling her energy into the air, so it's
Okay.
like air is sort of moving around me
Awesome.
and outwards.
Well, the awesome thing about Ember's magic is it is fire-based.
Right.
What she is doing right now is she is like harnessing the energy that's here in this like ambient magic field, and she is basically burning off the extra magic that is happening from whatever source is out here. She's destroying it.
Okay.
She's consuming it with fire and shooting it at you, and you're turning fire into elemental stuff.
And I'm gonna say that I'm actually standing on the top of the mast while this is happening,
Yep.
so that it's like got the purest
Right.
like conduit up into the air to
Right.
do.
Right. So she's basically like grabbing all of this energy and like it's spitting out like raw magic fire at you, and you're taking all of that and basically just like feeding it and like harnessing it forward into the air, and it's just breaking everything up. And what was like a really high pressure front before, it was really solid, very condensed, very heavy across the boat. You can feel like things are churning. Like energy is moving forward, the wind starts whipping up. You guys all feel this sudden, like very cold wind just hit the back of your neck. And then the boat just kind of like, it starts surging a little bit. The sails are starting to come unfurled, and like they're pushing, and you can hear Obrian is yelling to get these sails down and properly lashed. And the boat just like goes. It just starts moving forward. And you all get in like just barely in time. And yeah, it's not at all subtle. Whatever happened, the person who was on the other end of that effect probably knows it happened as much as you did, but There's wind, there's air. Up in the sky, you can see there's clouds that are like very rapidly starting to form. You've just turned this weather system back on.
Yes!
Yeah, basically, I mean, it's like a big moment, and like the crew are, like they are like kind of hushed, but there's definite crosstalk going on here. But it's like it's across benches. You know, benchmates are talking, but it's like they don't really want to say anything super loud since you just made weather out of fire.
It's like sitting there with my eyes all gold, just like.
Yeah, it's kind of like a momentous occasion for all of them, and the boat is moving, and the oars all get docked, and they're sitting back and they're like working out their muscles and like making sure things are okay. But at the same time, Oberyn is like yelling, you know, get this lash down, get that lash down, pull that in, pull it in, and she throws something at the back of your head, Arvin. She said, "Pick up that yard. Don't do anything, just hit it." Anyways, everybody's got something to do, and suddenly, totally different energy in the boat. You guys are moving forward. Everybody seems busy. Everything seems lively. You guys are again just like bumps on a log, but
I'm
everybody's
actually, I'm actually staying up in the crow's nest to like keep lookout because I feel like my senses are better than the people.
okay. That seems very accurate. And also, you're able to at this point, with all this having just gone on, you have a pretty good bead on the wind and the direction, the way that things are moving, and you can sense that that storm that you guys made is going to be kind of a big storm.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Hopefully
you
we
keep
won't
going.
cause too large a swell and capsize.
Well, there's always that.
There's always that.
So while I'm kind of channeling this energy,
Mhm.
can I see if I can send a message out to whoever's up there?
Other than the message that you just broke their stuff, yeah, sure. What are
Instead
you
of like
going
the
for?
ha 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 ha, like
Right.
can I be like, who are you? Basically, like kind of try to channel like
Sure, absolutely. Let's do it. Oh, really? Okay.
I want to see if this works. Yay, 2 whole points. 14.
Nobody gets to say a woman for long. That's good.
So
Okay.
much for sword.
I mean, you know, he's just going to appear like on the other boat now. Come and figure out.
Sword will.
I should have given you Cthulhu. Maybe he would have been more generous.
Yeah, you mean like the hipster wolf?
Yeah, well, he's pretty awesome. Okay, so what were we on? We were on talking about this idea of you sending a message. What were you attempting to send out there?
Just to try to, identify yourself, like what is up, like who are you up ahead? Just kind of any sort of like indication that I'm aware of who they are and if they can send something back. If they want.
You're looking for like a two-way communication.
Yeah.
And what you're getting instead is a lot more like a Highlander vibe. It's like you're there, they're there, and you have this feeling that you're both intently aware of where the other sorcerer is. And the energy you were feeling is not good. It does not feel warm or pleasant or lively or anything positive in any way. And you have this sensation of like oil and a slightly bitter taste in the back of your mouth, almost like something that started to turn. It is very unpleasant making contact with this other sorceress entity.
Okay. Now I have that like Queen song in my head from the Highlander TV series.
That's all I ever wanted to do to anybody right there. All right, excellent. Okay, game achieved. Here we go. Yeah, after this, I'm going to have to go look at every streaming service and YouTube and see how many episodes of The Highlander I can find. That's amazing to do. All
For
right.
me, there was only one Highlander.
Yeah.
The only one.
Well, you had to go that route, right?
I did.
Okay, but the question is, who was that?
It was a documentary filmed in real time.
It's technically Duncan.
Okay. Or
I
He
appreciate,
kills
I
the other guy.
appreciate a movie that is named after Scottish clans, and the only Scottish guy in the whole movie plays an Egyptian.
yes. So the real question is still, who was the Highlander you were going for there? Colin McLeod, whoever the movie Highlander is, guy. Is that where we were going with that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I didn't know where that was going. I just want to make
I
sure.
wasn't going anywhere.
All right. I don't want to miss any really cool things just because I have no idea what
No,
we're
I'm
doing.
just being stupid. Sorry.
No, it's good. This is D&D. We do that. So we have more water.
Sitting around your ice, like, come on.
When things calm down, we'll go to not Oberon. What's her name?
Oh, Brianna.
Oberon.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Say, do you want to take a break or anything? take over for a while. I've never done this before, but you know.
Really selling yourself
Yeah.
That's really condescending.
If you're looking for the experience, you can stay and watch.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we've got other sailors on the boat that actually know how to man the tiller if it comes to it. And also, kind of, what's the word? This is kind of my thing.
Sure, yeah. I didn't mean to insult you or anything. I just figured you wanted to take a break or something.
Right. It's holding a stick and yelling at people. I do both of those things just fine.
Okay.
But if you want to see how it's done,
Oh yeah, sure. I'll hop up on
Right.
the ledge.
and she is like 7 inches shorter than you. So it's like one of those experiences where at least you guys are pretty much on the same level and so forth. And, you know, she seems gruff.
Yeah.
But that's about it. She doesn't have anything negative to say, and occasionally she actually does spout some piece of nautical wisdom about why she's running a certain way or why it's important to attack this way or that way.
I will log all of that information in my little head.
Yeah, and she says a few things about how she doesn't just run the ship straight and, you know, things like that. So now you have a little bit of an idea of why the boat runs the way it does.
Wow. I'll just know you're doing that.
Okay. Arvin, you doing anything cool?
I was told not to do it.
We're told not to do anything except for grab that yard. She did tell you to grab that yard.
I have a yard.
What is a yard, by the way?
I don't know.
Really? Come on, man. You have Google. All right, that's fine.
There is no more nautical information.
That's fine. That's fine. You go ahead and deny it all you want.
I honestly thought you said yarn the first time you said
I
it.
Did
know,
you?
me too.
Okay.
I was like,
Wait, is it the yard arm that he grabbed, or just the yard?
Just the yard. But anyways, the important thing is that none of us should ever get on a boat. Because it's definitely not going to go well at this rate. Yeah.
It's dangerous to
it's
grab
back
the
at my
yard
house.
arm, by the way, especially if there's a high wind. That can just clock you.
That's like how every awesome sailing movie in a storm goes. So, is you
Right?
go
They
grab-
always get hit by the yard arm, like
I mean,
every
yeah,
time.
right. I think TV writers just really aren't that creative. But what do you do?
I don't think they know much about sailing.
Both
Like
those things are
them.
probably true, right? Yeah. So the boat continues forward. And again, that storm, it's building. It's getting a little darker, a little heavier, but you're also going forward, and because of the keen eyes of Aurora, you don't really have to work at all to tell that the water ahead of you is glowing. An iridescent purple color as you go farther forward into whatever this direction is.
So is it purple up ahead, or is as we're going through the water, I can like look over the edge and see purple water?
In the distance, several hundred feet in front of the boat, the water is turning a vivid, basically magical. We're going to say an arcane purple. As the water just kind of like swells and there's some bubbling going on, there is definitely a color.
All right, I'm gonna move it to the front of the boat.
You move to the front of the boat.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yep.
That's what I do. Look over the edge, keep an eye on it.
so
Yep.
is
Sounds
the
good.
rocket touching the water?
No.
Okay, good.
There is a distant sound that is becoming louder as the boat moves forward. It sounds a lot like this excellent track from Ambient Realms.
Singing?
Yep. Kind of like a distant, maybe female-ish voice. Slightly like a keening, eerie sound.
You guys hear that?
Yeah. Roll check to see what it is.
Sure.
What check would that be?
Right now,
Sure.
probably Arcana again, unless you come up with something better.
Arcana 10.
Well, this is one thing you've definitely not encountered so far.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Whatever it is, you're sailing right into it. You couldn't pinpoint it, but it certainly seems to you to be the effect of a spell or a creature.
I also rolled a natural 20.
Okay, and you have the exact same sensation, but from a much higher vantage point, where you can see that there is almost like a nexus in the middle of this purplish thing that you are floating into.
A
And
single
the boat
creature.
is going. I mean, there's no creature. It is water that is purple right now. You don't see anything that makes it look like a body or a shape. But in this like luminescent area in the water, there is kind of almost like a vortex or a torus or something like that, and you are going in that direction on a direct course.
I shout that we're being to Obriana like vortex straight ahead, steer around.
And she shouts back, "With the waves where they are, I can't sail around."
Okay, well, we're going straight to a vortex.
Yeah, and it's not like a whirlpool or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
There is energy and it's kind of swirling in this water. And it's moving and you know you're headed directly at it.
Okay.
The ship's able to tack a little bit to the right, which brings you out of the brightest point that you're seeing, but there is that effect. And as it gets closer, the sound is getting louder. The crew is kind of mumbling and shaking their heads a little bit. We are all going to make wisdom saving throws at this point.
Magic?
Oh my god.
Can I ask a question? Because I was trying to not interrupt, but
Yes.
can I use elemental attunement to make myself temporarily deaf?
I'm pretty sure that's a thing you can do. I was just looking at that.
Because once I start hearing the singing, and if I know a good idea about what it is, I think that that's what Aurora would have
It
done.
does say that you are supposed to be able to use it to create a harmless effect.
Right.
So I will say you can have advantage on the saving throw.
Okay.
Yeah, because all you'd have to do then is just create some kind of disturbance near your ear.
Right.
That makes it harder to hear.
Okay. Second damage. Okay.
Well, that was.
Third bench.
You said it was a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
I did not do great.
Last bench. Oh, hey, those guys are awesome at everything. Okay, Aurora or Fang is not the sparkly one. Okay, wow. Alright, so, how did you all do? Wisdom saving throw.
I got nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Alright. So you only get natural 20s or 2s, so that's what's going.
Fair enough.
20s or 1s, yeah.
20s or 1s.
They're very
I only got a
pragmatic.
12, even with advantage.
Wow. Okay, and you're on necrosis, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
11.
Wow. Hey, how about you, Sean? How's your
22.
first?
Yeah,
Okay.
you told me it was magic, and I was like, oh.
Well, here is an excellent, fun thing everybody gets to do. You guys get to roll a d10.
Cool. Is it a charm effect?
Is it a charm effect? Nothing here is indicating it being a charm effect. Are we talking about the monk ability?
Yeah.
What do we
If
want
it
to show?
technically counts as being charmed or frightened, I can end it as an action.
The stillness of mind? Yep. No, but we're not hitting the keywords.
It does not result in an effect that is either charming or frightening.
No. But you do get to make a saving throw after this turn. Okay, so D10 roll.
Alright. That is a 9.
Okay?
I got a 3.
3. You're fine. You are stunned and just totally captivated by some sort of magical force. Okay, guys in the back. Oh, wow. Okay, that sucks. I have exactly the same result.
Yeah.
Not great. And actually, I only need 1 for that.
Yeah.
I'll get that some other day. Okay, so Fang stands totally still. The people in the front of the boat next to Theo are all fine. Maybe you guys are in the eye of the storm or something like that. Oh, Brianna seems unaffected. These two people sitting on this bench turn and begin hitting each other, just physically pummeling each other. These two people do exactly the same thing. These two people do exactly the same thing. So 6 of your crewmen are just like grabbing each other, like strangling, hitting, doing whatever they can, just trying to hit one another for this round. Okay, you guys go ahead and make your wisdom saving throws.
Okay. Cast will do the advantage on it, or.
This round, let's just roll normal. Okay, that's much better. No?
I still did poorly.
Did you? Yikes. Unexpected.
So-
Wow.
Well, if I had advantage.
Well, yeah, but that's how advantage works, right? What's that?
I'm going to try to break up the two that are farther nearest to me. I'm up front, so...
These two are fine, so it's these two.
Yeah, I'll be like, stop that, stay focused, get back to rowing.
Go ahead and make a athletics check.
Watch me screw this one. 21?
Okay, 21. So you're imposing yourself between the two of them.
Yeah, just
so
kind of like break them apart.
that's fine. That's working real well. Okay,
Holy
so
day.
people in the back. If you guys want to go ahead and make, what'd you get?
17.
Okay, so Aurora, you're gonna make a D10 roll.
Okay. 6.
6. You do nothing this round.
Okay.
Okay, this guy is still trying to strangle the guy next to him. This guy is trying to strangle the guy next to him. These guys are fine. The people you were pushing, they just kind of like stop and they're just like looking around like, what happened?
You started beating on each
What
other.
did I do?
Oh, I was gonna be like, The two behind me that are fighting, I was gonna try to break them up.
Okay, two behind you that are fighting. You're going to try to break them up. Go ahead and make the same athletics roll.
Athletics roll, you
Athletics
said?
roll, yeah.
12.
12. Okay. Not really successful. They both seem pretty intent. They're basically like strangling each other. Okay, and Fang seems fine. What's going on?
I'll move down to the next group of people and try to break them up
You're
too.
moving on to the next group of people, so you're gonna have to come like way back here.
Yeah, that's fine. Same thing. Come on, guys, break it up. Break it
Okay, and this is the ones where Embers is in the same spot, just trying to break things up. Okay, so let's go ahead and make another set of checks.
Oh, just
2,
that set of us.
4, yep.
14.
14, you're good.
Awesome.
Everything seems fine. Whatever magical current this is has run its course. These two guys in the back, though, are still fighting. These guys are still fighting, and it's getting, like, these guys in the back, it's starting to look kind of bad. Like, one of them just keeps hitting the other one in the face,
Okay,
and then...
I'll crawl over the two that I'll go. Make my way back there.
That's fine, we're doing that. Fang is taking over for you, trying to deal with these two people where Embers is. So, Embers, why don't you just go ahead and roll with advantage? Arvin, Aurora, what do you guys do?
Are any of them within an easy jump from the crow's nest?
Not an easy jump if you're not a monk, but for you, yeah.
Cool, I'm gonna just jump straight onto one of them.
Okay, so you can jump onto one of these two guys in the middle,
Yeah.
really super easy.
I got 11.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Luckily, they are both bad at being strong.
Yes.
You did manage to defeat them both and keep them apart this round, and like one of them was almost blue in the face. It was probably a really good time. Okay, so you jump down here. Go
Yeah,
ahead and,
making an attack.
sure. Yeah, you can just make an attack. No problem with just making an attack.
Oh yeah, but I mean I have to jump.
Yeah, go ahead and make your jumping monkey attack. And then Arvin, what do you want to do?
Is there anybody else still fighting, or
At this point, nobody is fighting. It's not totally clear because this magical effect seems kind of hard to read. It's not totally clear who might be affected right now.
okay?
Help this guy out.
My first strike was
I'll
only
point to
an,
the guy with the blue face.
my first strike was only an 11.
Okay, that'll hit.
Oh, it hits.
There's sailors who are too busy fighting each other to even notice who they are.
Sweet. Make a Constitution check, DC 14.
Yep, that they.
Of course.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody always makes the freaking Constitution.
I'm sorry, I'll
checks.
stop rolling so low if I can.
It's alright.
Okay, so-
I'm gonna hit again. That definitely hit. The last one hit. Oh, I forgot to do the damage. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna knock them out.
Yeah, there's a good chance. I'm not doing lethal damage.
I mean, you're just jumping on them from a crow's nest. That's
Sorry. So, yes, 11 points of non-lethal.
knocked totally out.
Okay.
Sprawled on the bench.
You would blind on his
Hey,
head.
you
I've
basically
really
just.
got to start asking these questions before I say they should make a con check, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you basically just jumped right on top of their head, and their neck just kind of buckled and they fell down.
As long as I didn't kill them.
They're not dead. They do seem to be breathing and alive. Okay, Arthur.
I'm just gonna go and try and help people with the medicine skill, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Right. So 13.
Okay. So you're getting people kind of righted and checking their pupils, and everybody's eyes look like weirdly dilated. They're coming out of whatever this is slowly.
Was the other guy who was fighting still fighting?
No, he was actually attacking him. So at that point, all is fine. And this last set
What did I roll for advantage
for breaking those guys out.
Okay.
And so now it was kind of made a moot point by Aurora jumping on their head. Yeah, so everybody's out. The effect seems to fade as you pass that purplish part of the water. Everyone sort of regains their sense of self.
How you doing? Are you okay?
Fine.
The blue head and blue face.
Once we're past that purplish part of the water, I freeze the water where it was.
You're gonna freeze the water where it was. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to freeze it before we got to it because I'd be running us into an iceberg.
Yep. You freeze it, and you can kind of see that like purple ambience just kind of like shining out through the ice.
I just wanted to see if that would do anything.
Yeah. It is not pursuing you in any way.
Be sure
It did not get a superpower.
before she freezes it, can I try to get a good look at what it is? Or is
Sure.
it still too far away?
It's the same thing it was before. It's
It's
almost
still
like it's like
ice,
a
yeah.
magical oil spill. It's just water that has some sort of purple luminescence floating in it as far as you know.
If I was to metagame, I'd guess that was a confusion effect.
If you were at metagame, it sounds accurate. But on the other hand, too, whatever it is has passed, and it seems like people are mostly back to themselves. Nobody is lastingly hurt. There is only one rower that is totally knocked out. Everybody else is recovering pretty quickly, and they look ashamed and maybe mortified, maybe suspicious, but
It's okay, guys. Weird magic. It's all right. We're okay now.
Does anybody know what
Back
that
to
thing
the
was? It was like a trap or...
I mean, we both got natural. Who did, me and you?
I got like 22
Got
or something.
natural 20s
For
on.
perceiving it, yeah. I mean, so you guys know what it was. It was something in the water. It was some sort of just like field.
Just grab that. It's gone now. Well, it's behind us.
Is it going to be here when we come back?
Probably.
If we go straight at it again, then yes. But I think that now that
We know it.
Obriana knows where it is, she can probably plot a course around it.
But we'll see how hard the wind's blowing when we come back. But I don't want to sail through it again if we don't have to.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, this is some effective wind, she says, as the wind is like still picking up and really pushing into the sails. Whatever's going on, we just got to ride this out.
Somebody else can maybe keep watch for a little bit. I want to meditate.
Alright. Climb up.
Keep watch for a bit. Go ahead and make a dex check. Yeah. You're
It's
climbing
a
up
20-foot mast in the wind.
and you are subject to falling damage, unlike Aurora.
Alright, acrobatics.
Yeah.
I'll use acrobatics.
Sure.
Make it fancy.
That's
Aurora
totally
also
cool.
has
Let's go for
claws.
21.
Yeah, you made it by like half a point. You're good. But the important thing is you got up there, you made it look really good, and yeah, you have some appreciation of the fact, okay, it is 20 feet up. Yeah, there's that.
Alright, just keep an eye out. And
Yeah,
look around.
cool. You see water.
Yeah.
There are a lot of larger waves that are swelling this side, coming in towards the shore like that, and they do seem to be picking up quite a
Shore?
bit now. What's that?
You said shore.
The shore is like somewhere over here. So like if you were looking for where North Wall
Gotcha.
and everything was, you guys have been sailing north. So your land is on this side, and the water is really picking up on this side. So pretty soon I'll be picking up the boat and going like this.
Does it look unusual, the wave, size of the waves? Or?
You don't really have too much of a basis for it compared to the rest of this trip. Yeah, this is pretty strong, but those clouds up ahead and above you have gotten to be a very vivid, like dark purple black. So it does look like something's going to happen pretty soon.
I'll shout down to Brianna.
Oh, great.
Oh, Brianna. God, it's gonna be so hard. There's a storm coming. I guess we need to keep our eyes open.
I knew that.
I know, but look, it's closer now. It's bigger. See?
Keep your eyes forward.
Okay. All right. Forward eyes. Wish I had a patch.
Yep. Two, right?
2. Yeah.
Two eye patches.
2 patches.
Makes them double the pirate.
I know,
That's
right?
right.
Nobody ever takes my suggestions.
Okay.
Just
I
so
tried.
terrible.
O'Brien's keeping the ship on a pretty even keel, despite the fact that it is getting really pitchy. Like the deck is rolling, there's a lot of water activity. It's a strong storm. Things are going well.
So I only got a 10 on a con save. I feel like
Yes.
awesome. I want to
Do
aim
you
it.
want to throw
I
up?
want to aim it at somebody.
You really sound like you're trying to throw up, so that's why I'm saying yes, just so we're clear. It definitely sounded like you wanted to throw up.
Roll a
Well, I'm
percentage
20 feet above.
So
I mean,
you
the
aim
crow's
it
nest
at-
does, like, if it's rocking,
That's what I'm thinking. Is like doing this, right? Like,
it goes pretty intense.
yeah.
Are you aiming at Arvin or are you aiming at something?
Um.
Yeah, they got a
don't
shield.
throw up.
Yeah, sure. Arvid can insult the pirates. You can just barf on them. It's great. Really making a good impression. You know how much beer I have to give these idiots?
Yeah, I'll aim for blind.
Well, thanks, dude.
Man, I just led you right to that. It's so
Blessing of the sun god!
Okay, you know what? Okay, wait. To be fair, I'll roll a d6. And it'll be random. It's gonna be 1 3. 1 2
You better hope it's not one.
Okay, 4. I mean 1 2 3 4 5.
uh-huh.
Come on! Oh, 1. Yeah, it's black. I got black.
Actually, Aurora's the best possible one to have had that happen because she's meditating and that means she's attuning to elements, so it just...
You're also the one most likely to kill him. So you're probably the one most likely to kill him over something like that.
Well,
so
sure. I mean, I've only tried to kill him like 5 times.
I'm sorry. It's moving a lot.
Hey, Arvin, here's the good
I
news.
didn't expect this.
It is about 3 seconds before a large wave comes over the side of the boat, and you just get splashed face on with spray.
That's okay, the sea barfed on me too, man.
See?
Maybe you should get down.
It's not just me. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck up here.
No, you're not. Climb down.
I hand
Okay.
you whatever blanket I brought and just
You want to
How
make
much
that check
time
again?
is
Dab,
it?
dab, dab, dab.
We
I'll
are
do a
progressing
fire-
towards evening at this point.
Okay, so it's been more than an hour.
Yeah.
Cool, I'll climb up to the mast and grab him.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
All right. You get grabbed, and then what? Is that it?
Then I
You
jump
get
down.
Okay. You
You
get
don't know how
grabbed.
to
She
deal
brings you
with
down.
It's like getting vomit out of chainmail. This
Oh,
is-
look, there's a piece right there.
Thanks, man.
I use elemental
Oh,
attunement to
there's that
clean it.
mushroom from last night.
Okay.
Oh,
And you get
sorry.
cleaned. You are now cleaned. The water comes up off the boat and does a little swirly around you and goes back in.
Thank you. It's a nifty trick to get there.
Water likes me.
So over the night, it's a lot less pleasant than the previous night. There's a lot of splashing of waves coming over the sides of the boat. You start to see the benefit of the sealskin blankets. Everyone's cold. It's wet. And everyone except for everyone else is cold. Everyone is wet. And it seems like it's really just a tough thing because you can feel the boats like going down and then tacking back the other way. O'Brienna's really working overtime, holding this tiller solid and keeping the boat on course.
Hey, Armin, you know something else that likes me? Wind.
Wind. How verily you break it. I got to go back to the other side of the
Yeah.
left line.
You've got another moment of. This is another moment where you see Fang being very serious. He's like going around the boat, tightening ropes. He's really trying to like spell rowers. He's actually taking some turns at the oar. He's helping people get things lashed up. He's brought around food to everybody. He's just everywhere, all over the ship.
Can I help you do something?
You help him out a little bit. Yeah, he does. You help him bring out some food. You basically are bringing out bread, just like hardtack. And then there's some really small, like salted fish that are super salty. And then he's got you helping him out with the brandy, and you guys are walking around with the brandy, just getting everything out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm helping out too. I'm sure he isn't trusting me with the brandy now, but I can help with the food.
Sure. And he says, you know what? Also, keep your hands free because I can't do anything about the water.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so I'll just actually be going around then, like, keeping water off of
Sure.
people.
And you're useful. You're using your powers in a way that's helping everybody out. It's making it a little bit more pleasant. People appreciate it. But yeah, his part seems to be just like going up to the sailors. He's using that, like, he doesn't have any of that really like super flashy, exorbitant way right now. He's just walking around. He's talking to everybody. He's looking them right in the eyes. He's giving them what they need, and this is his element. He's really in command of how these people are treated right now.
Can I?
So as I hand out food, I'll like ask each one of them their names. Hi, Theo.
Sure.
I'm your server this evening.
you go.
I have a wide variety of choices between salted fish and hard bread.
Right. So the two important people you may want to know, Pergo is the guy with the loaded dice. Phyla is the lady who is still staring daggers at you all over this mission. Empress.
I'm going to observe
I still
how.
like that name.
Sweet topper.
What's his name again? The
Not
other
with this
backseat is
charisma.
Fang?
No,
named Obriana.
Okay.
This is kind of how he's being very friendly towards the crew. I want to see how he's kind of acting in front of the crew towards Obriana.
Sounds like an inside check.
You have a little movie.
13.
Okay, so it's not terribly difficult to read. You don't know their inner history or anything like that, but the situation of like a captain and then like a ship's mate or something like that who is leading as a second, he seems like he's filling in all the gaps so that she doesn't have to take her hand off the tiller. He looks like he's really handling the people touch. He really isn't doing anything useful related to equipment other than just being bolstering the people.
Okay.
So he seems to really just be in a support role here, and they exchange looks every once in a while. You don't see anything you're worried about.
Okay.
So that's that. Okay.
To feel it when I get to her, I'll say again. Ah, yes, but bread, salted fish. Which would
Yeah,
you like?
both.
Oh, here you go. How are you enjoying the cruise so far? Is it better now than before? Are you feeling a little bit better about the whole upset, getting shot with an arrow thing?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's good. Good to hear. I'll pat her on the back.
She's like, that's where I got hit with the arrow.
It was actually on her leg.
She did get shot in the thigh. There is that at least.
Okay, I'll pat her on the thigh.
No.
Great. Do you want to make an insight check?
Yeah,
Do
sure.
you row here often?
If you row here often. Oh yeah, that's awesome. What is that? Insight off of what? Wisdom?
Wisdom. Yeah.
7. I got a 7.
It is going well.
Ah, awesome.
Yes.
So,
You
so
can-
I will actually say, do you row here often?
At the end of this trip, your comment card is definitely going to get all 5s.
Awesome.
Exceeds expectations on everything. You've got this handled.
Oh, did you
I got a
feel it?
7.
That's not great.
I know, right?
They're like best friends. He's clearly
Yeah, I
her
know.
favorite.
We're like, we're buds.
You tried licking her face.
No, I haven't tried licking your face. I'll leave the face looking.
The backseat tips. There we go.
The
That's great.
backseat
We need to have that as being like a regular feature
The
of the show.
backseat
The
tips.
backseat
That'd
tips.
be great.
Yep.
Everyone, when your enemies are upset, lick them in the face.
So the storm goes through the night. Do any of you plan on getting normal sleep, normal hours? Are you going to try to stay up? What are your thoughts?
I don't think Arvin can get too much sleep.
Okay. Well, you tell me, because it doesn't really let up at any point, anywhere during the night.
I am going to plant myself as close to Fila as I can, without like getting in anybody's way, and just chatter up.
That is happening.
Definitely going to sleep because that's the thing.
Crow's nest or somewhere different?
Can I sleep in the crow's nest in a storm? Because if I can, yes.
Yeah, you have a sealskin blanket. You can just throw that thing on top of yourself, and yeah, that's about as much space as anyone will get on
I
this
mean,
boat.
it's like being rocked to sleep.
Yes.
Violently rocked
You're
to
like, it's
sleep.
just like
Just
being
like
in my...
home.
Yeah.
So sad. So sad we all
That
like
was all there used to rock.
How about you, Embers?
You're a failure.
Okay. All right, so Arvin is staying up.
I'm
This
gonna
I'm staying up.
cast guidance on Obriana until
Okay.
she's in perpetuity until she says stop.
Okay.
So
She does not at any point. say- Yeah, I mean, she's steely-eyed, but she gives you a nod, and you have the feeling that a captain does not show weakness. You understand that as a military person at this point, and there's that moment between the two of you where she appreciates you helping her, but she's not going to thank you for everything. So the night passes, the storm continues. In the morning, 8, 9 o'clock maybe, it's finally well petered out, and the winds have really come down. But to replace it, there's a lot of fog. It's very hard to see up ahead. You can just see the fog rolling over the water. And again, you're getting to that place where it seems like things are getting very still again. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our break here, and we're going to come back in the fog.
There's something out
Infinity
there.
Tower music.
Out there in the mist.
Okay, we are back with more Infinity Tower
I
D&D.
need my eyes.
We got a lot of stuff going on. So let's go through our promos first. We've got Ambient Realms that do the ambient effects and sounds for your game. Check them out at ambientrealms.com, where you can get cool sounds, such as the one that I have just potted up to make appropriate. Okay, it's called Thunderwave for a reason. I actually finally did something with some volume, sorry. But I did that for once. Ambient Realm supports Huntington's Disease Society of America and Autism Speaks. Okay, 1 out of 2 is not bad. And Arknight, they do the flat plastic minis like so. Check out them at arknight.com. We're doing follower giveaways right now. Actually, we're doing a follower giveaway and subscriber giveaways. So take a look at the counts. When we have multiples of 25 and 5, then we give giveaways. This is the short version. Tomorrow, Adrenochrome. Hey, Kat.
Hey! So tomorrow we're doing Blades in the Dark. It's gonna get freaky. So freaky. 7 p.m. Watch it.
Okay, cool. And then New Trippers on Thursday with Scooter, 6:30. So look at those. Check out timetabletop.com. Follow us on Twitch. Comment. Give us ideas. Hashtag Infinity Tower. And let's not forget that today we have a 150 follower winner. So we'd like to...
Yeah!
But wait, there's more. They have a name. And the name is...
Did they name them?
That's right.
Wow.
The Stink Rat Streams. Which I think we can all agree that we have to go immediately follow right now. The Stink Rat Streams is our 150 follower giveaway winner. So now you wish you hadn't given away the good clapping earlier, right?
Way to go, Stink Rat!
Stink
Yeah.
Rat. Okay, that sounds like somebody who should be playing Blades in the Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
maybe
mean,
some
I don't know
old-
how much I want a stink rat in my house.
I didn't say your game, but they should be playing it in general, or maybe just some old school Warhammer Fantasy. That would be a good one for Stink Rats.
Stink
Yeah.
Rat.
That would work out well.
Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for our promos. I would like to additionally here go into some new housekeeping for our very cool combined monk and sorcerer magic thing.
Woo.
I'm giving inspiration to both Aurora and Allison.
Yeah.
Okay, Kat and Allison, Aurora and Embers. You guys can fight over who gets what creature of
I
evil.
don't care which creature I get.
That's not fighting, just so we're clear. That's not what fighting is.
Oh, I got the Draco Lich. Draco Lich. Draco Lich.
Draco
Every
Lich.
now and then I get a little bit phony because I'm a dead dragon.
That wasn't like a Drake song reference, was it? In addition to everything else?
Huh? It wasn't.
Okay, cool. I
You
would-
should have called me on my phone.
This is playing D&D, people. This is how you play D&D.
Cat abuses herself.
I mean, there's that too. Let's not forget that's a huge part of playing D&D is amusing yourself while other people wait for you to take your turn. So,
No, I'm
Ball.
playing now.
Every game I played, and I
we are now at the point where this is north. Sean is north, in case anybody's wondering, for the next few moments here. As the ship continues on its way, there is fog everywhere. Up ahead, it's like a solid wall of light that just sort of pillows up, probably 20 feet in the air. And it's difficult to see anything. You can't really see the surface of the water until the ship starts to break against it. And beyond that, you're not really certain.
I'm gonna go to Obriana and get kind of close. Would you like a light on the masthead?
Light and fog? I'm worried you're just going to make it brighter fog.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it's going to break through the fog?
I don't know. I can take it off if it doesn't work.
Feel free to try it. I just want to try to keep things as straight as possible.
Get up to the masthead and cast light.
You go here, you cast light, you get a really strong reflection on the fog. It is bright enough, yeah. So unfortunately that didn't help a lot.
I'm gonna sit down next to Fila.
Phyla, yeah.
Phyla,
Okay,
yeah.
so you still bother her?
Yeah,
Cool.
so they're gonna keep bothering her. And it'll be like, oh, this is interesting fog. Huh, you see a lot of fog like this? It's kind of thick.
No, not really. But she's just rowing now. The sails have gone pretty slack. They start to bring them in. They've shipped they've got it all the way up. They've got their oars out. Just rowing ahead. Ship goes a lot slower when it's rowing.
The fireball.
Into the sails.
Yes.
I can do it.
I would like to point out too, for people who are tracking spells, remember we've had at least a night's rest, so everybody's back to full spells, full health, right? Everybody's paying attention to that. Full spells, full health, full sorcery points, full key, full bellies, all the full bellies.
I'm gonna climb up onto the prow of the boat,
Yep.
and I'm gonna close my eyes and listen.
Okay.
And what I'm listening for specific, because smelling in the fog isn't gonna do any good.
Yep.
Looking isn't gonna do any good. What I'm listening for is the sounds of water meeting rock,
Yep.
because I don't want us to run aground.
Sounds good. Okay, physically, I can't put your character on the boat. It's not going to happen. But in spirit, yes. And then if you want to roll, you can make an advantaged perception check because this is your special smell. Or is it sense or hearing? Is your special smell?
Hearing. It doesn't really say. I just
But you get a
figured.
cool advantage on doing something with Tabaxi for one of those.
They have dark vision, but.
All right, I might be making stuff up. But okay, so
yeah.
you can just make.
But she's an elemental monk to boot. And
You know what? Sure. Go ahead and take advantage for being an elemental monk who is listening to the water.
I mean, I do have kitty ears.
Kitty ears.
Oh well, dang.
2 points.
No, a 17 and a 16, and then you add perception to that, so a 23.
Always seeing with the fact that you're proficient in perception and stealth by default. Okay,
Yeah.
23 is what you said?
I am actually. Tabaxi are.
Right. That was what I was confused by.
Yes.
That's what I
And
was thinking.
I think that's labeled as cat senses.
It said cat something. I didn't stay on the page long enough. But okay,
Cat
so
party.
you're telling me about the cool thing you did. You rolled a
23.
23. Okay, I'm going to make a stealth check. Yeah, boats aren't stealthy, neither are ships or whatever else is out here. There is definitely a water lapping sound. You also hear like some light sounds that you'd imagine is movement around a rock or a ship. But no talking,
Okay.
nothing like that.
I whisper to the person behind me, whoever it happens to be.
Okay, it's this sailor right over here. And Arvin is also very close to you at this point.
Right. Oh, Arvin is great.
Yep.
Arvin. There are rocks out in this water. I can hear them.
And it doesn't quite sound like a rock, but there is definitely the sound of something breaking
Oh, there's something
against
breaking.
the water breaking against something.
So it could be icebergs, it could be another boat.
Yep. Could
And
be
is it-
icebergs, could be another boat.
Does it seem like it's dead ahead of us?
It's not dead ahead of you.
Okay. Who's
It is probably on an intercept.
Okay. So it's probably a boat then.
Does sound more like something moving.
Okay.
I'll,
There's a boat heading towards us from, and my eyes are closed, but I gesture towards whatever direction it
Yep.
is.
Yep. She has a heading. It is roughly in this direction.
I'll get the others ready and let Umber know.
I'll let you know if it moves at all.
Do it.
You're
If not,
watching
I'm
down
going
the
to tell
telly,
you
right?
we've got to.
Okay. So, how far away? Can you tell how far away it is?
How far away is it?
Far, but not so far that it's like at a point where maybe it's like 200 feet, something like that, like
that's
outside of
in
normal eyesight. But you've got a pretty strong senses out there, and getting closer-ish, not going fast at all.
It's not going fast, so it doesn't seem like it's on an intercept to us. But it might also be the thing that we're looking for.
Should we shoot? I can fire. We can light an arrow on fire and shoot one out in that direction. See if we can see something.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Okay, so Arvin, are you walking all the way back to Obriana and letting everybody know on the way?
Yeah.
Sailors 2 or just Fang and Embers?
Fang, Embers, Sailors.
Okay, I mean, you're not going to be quiet anymore on the
No.
boat.
If something's coming to intercept, we're going to know.
I'm gonna be actively looking in that direction.
Okay.
And I'll get the musket out.
Musket out?
Start the musket.
Okay, musket. Sounds good. Okay, Fang, he's like cocking his ear against the wind. Aurora's better at it than I am, but if you say so. And he makes sure his sword is loose in the scabbard. He's looking ready. He looks a little bit on edge, but ready. Embers.
Just waiting it up.
Cool. You want to make another Arcana check?
Nope.
Okay. Cool. Even with a 10, your sorcerer senses are vaguely tingling. It's similar to what was going on before, like this has that same feeling of like some sort of magical energy being exerted, but they're either being more subtle or they're using less energy or it's not directed at you. It's not as concentrated or as clear as last time.
Okay. Yay. The other person me.
Yes.
Oh, and someone's writing it.
Oh, that's.
Oh,
Lots of signs.
But
it's Aquaman and his people.
Yeah. Okay, so
Like
clearly,
Aqua's
construction-wise, I didn't actually test this with the flat plastic minis beforehand.
So Aquaman's a revenant and he's got a
their boat is
Come on,
a
guys.
whale?
It's a whale in the tail fire. Right?
You guys just enjoy the whale, alright? That's all I got for
Is
you.
it an undead whale?
Please let it be an undead whale. Please.
Yes!
Oh, it is an undead whale.
I love D&D. I think my son would be very disappointed, though, if he knew that I was making an undead whale instead of a normal whale. I think he would really prefer a normal whale.
He won't understand till he's like 14.
Okay. Pardon me, guys. I do have to take a picture of this before we continue on.
Yeah,
and I am going to put them together so it looks like these guys are about to eat you. But that's not really what I'm going for.
Well, I don't
This is
think
my-
that throwing out icebergs at the undead whale is going to do a lick of good. So I'm not
I
gonna-
think you should totally do all sorts of stuff to the undead whale. Okay, come on. Seriously, do the thing. Do the photo.
it seems like it's not going to work. It's like,
We really are going to get down to this soon. If you guys would like to roll initiative, that is one of the many things you could do as part of this. Come on. When I thought of this idea, there was no chance this was not happening.
That's a good initiative roll you've got there, Allison.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Too bad your dexterity's not very good.
Can't be good at everything.
That's true.
As soon
My
as,
character's really
as soon as I make out a dead whale, I'm gonna switch over to the magic pistol.
I think you should just roll what you got.
Okay. All right. Oh, I can fire off the musket one shot and switch over.
Okay, now that I have done my Twitter duties, I am going to move this back to our proper range. I'm going to bring up some drama.
Banging drum.
Definitely.
Are they just like banging on the side of the whale with like
That's
a
a fish
muffed
story.
like?
This is purely the cinematics of the universe taking place.
Okay.
The perfect storm of Sonic.
Okay, this is Obriana and Fang. Alright, Obriana is clearly the sparkly one. So, I've got that set. Oh yeah, these guys.
I'm surprised Fang's not the sparkly one, quite honestly.
Fang is really different at sea than he is on land. You know, before he really seemed like he was all swagger, and here he seemed very purposeful. Especially right now at this moment. You're also getting like this strong feeling that he really is deferring to Obriana and a lot of those like flamboyant leadership qualities that he would normally have. Okay, so moving into good battle here, there is a whale loaded with the undead. Out of the fog sort of parts and lowers down, and you can feel there's like a gust of wind coming in this direction. It is a horrible smell. Something long dead and rotting. And on top of it, you can see undead are scrambling about. They're holding down, grabbing into the flesh. They're drawing rusted, ruined cutlasses. And there is a sense all around it. You can also see there's some being that's floating above all of this. And every once in a while you see like a spark of electricity in these storm clouds and in this fog that's surrounding them. It is sailing close to you. Now, keep in mind, please, the table is only so big. So if you have something that takes place at like a range of 200 or something like that, let's do it now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I only have so much room I can use.
I got all kinds of shooting I want to do.
So let's start talking about who's got a high initiative. Who's going first?
I have a 19.
19, okay?
16.
16.
13.
18.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's great. I like the circle thing. That's good. Okay, so Aurora, what are you going to do?
Okay, so before they even like are within attack range,
Mhm.
I've drunk the water breathing potion that I've got
Water breathing potion drunk. Check.
because that seems wise at this point.
Okay,
to me.
cool. So that's like the first thing you do at this point. No
As
problem.
the first thing I do, and then I jump into the water.
Okay, cool. So, Bloop.
So if I drink a water breathing potion, I don't have that.
Uh-huh.
Do I have to be in the water at that point to breathe?
No, it's an option.
And it lasts for how long?
I think it's an hour, correct? An hour sounds
An hour.
Yeah. So you are now breathing water for an hour. Aurora, are you trying to get forward motion, or are you just
I
in
am
the water?
trying to basically come up very near them.
Uh-huh.
Before I jumped overboard, actually, I would have said to you, be ready with a fireball.
Okay.
Like, I need to tell her that.
Amber's is like, this fireball? Right, so. Yeah.
So my plan is, I am going to, when they get a certain distance from the boat, launch myself up on a pillar of ice from underneath the water,
Uh-huh.
and then land right in the middle of them and dodge.
So we're going to assume you're like here at this point. Just float in the water. There is
Under
no
the
reason.
water.
Well, right. There's no reason to hide because I don't think the undead or the whale care that you're under the water.
Yeah.
I think you are just another piece of flotsam to them.
Yeah.
So that's great. You are totally achieving all those goals.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what she did at a long range. Embers, what did you do at a long range? What would you
How far away are they?
do? At this point right now, as we join battle, they will be
200 feet.
100 feet or so away. But you could have done something at any point, seeing them come from like 150, 200 feet.
At what point was she able to see them?
Probably like 150, 200 feet. They are revealed fairly early on by this gust of wind.
The closest one, I'm gonna just use my magic missile wand and throw a bunch of magic missiles at it.
Okay, so you're just going to zappify this guy. How many charges is this?
I'm just gonna do 3.
3 charges?
It's
So you're doing a total of 5 missiles. Okay.
He needs some extra d4s.
The wand should probably be fully charged after the last couple nights.
Yeah, so it's times 7, so if it's 3, so now I'm down to 4. I'll use 4 so many times. $15 damage.
Okay, 15 damage. Let's see. Doing a thing, holding on to. Okay, it is struck. It staggers about and does not come off the whale.
Okay.
You know what? I'll make it a roll because it's it's on a whale. All right. It falls in the water. Okay. All right. We are on Theophraxis. What are you gonna do?
Just like 200 feet or so, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is our far distance action before the round that we are currently.
Yeah, I'll just take a test shot at the guy, the same guy that she hit with the magic missile, and just try shooting it. Just
The
to
same guy
kinda-
you said, or some other guy?
Same guy.
'Cause
Oh, he
there's-
fell in the water.
In the
huh?
water. He's over here.
Okay, so the guy that's next to him then.
Okay.
Just sort of testing it out. 21.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Ooh, 16.
16. Okay. I will make a similar check for that guy to see if he stays on the whale. He's better at holding onto the whale. He is up.
Okay, so does it look like it did like a normal amount of
You put
damage?
a fairly large hole into this creature.
All right, then I'll put the musket away and get out the pistol.
Okay. And by put away, do you mean just like sit down on the bench and grab the pistol?
Yeah,
Cool.
basically.
Okay. And you got the pistol. You're gonna take a second shot.
Oh yeah, second attack.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. That also hits.
Yeah, 22 hits. That's crazy.
And right.
And I know they should be wearing their like space armor, but they're not.
Just because it would have hit like an adult red dragon.
13.
One day. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
I'm gonna wait to see what she does with fireballs.
Save it up. Okay, Arvin, you ready?
Yeah. How far away is?
We're gonna say we're doing this at a range of about 200 feet. This is not showing the range of 200 feet right now, but the table is only 7.
Okay, they're gonna close with this next.
Yep, this is gonna be what it looks like next round.
Shoot.
Just hold an action.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Hold.
You know what?
Maybe like a dodge or something so if they try to throw something at you.
You can always buff spiritual weapons, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Spirit Guardians right now. It
Ooh,
lasts
alright.
10 minutes. So
Nice.
everybody on the boat, the sailors, Obriana, Fang, of course.
Okay. Cool. So none of these people are going to get hit by Spirit Guardians, which lasts for a good period of time and is concentration. Is that what I'm saying? Okay. Cool. So on my part, Obriana acts towards the whale. She says to you loudly, "You're all ready for this, right?"
Yeah.
and she just attacks straight at it, and she says, "Row!" And they're gonna go for it. Fang loosens his sword again. He says, "I'm not getting any readier than this," and he comes all the way up to the front and is hanging off the edge here, like yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna work, but he is doing that.
Yeah.
Stay, and that's his part. These guys continue forward here. This guy's like back here now because the whale has moved forward. This is all relative positioning as of this point in the round, when it is now Aurora's turn. We are now in proper range.
Cool. How high up is the flying guy?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 60, nope, 30 feet.
30 feet.
30 feet.
Okay, I am trying to get over to flying guy,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna launch my pillar of ice like right in front of him.
You want to do a pillar of ice in front of it. Okay,
Yeah.
now your hard part here is going to be your movement rate.
Yep.
Your movement rate in water is not great, so tell me how you're solving that.
Is it half speed movement rate in
Half
water?
speed.
Okay, I'm gonna tabaxi speed.
Yeah. Which I gotta say is fairly broken, because how are you supposed to launch off of it? But we're just gonna go with it. Okay, so what's your normal movement rate?
45.
45, so 90, and then we're adding another 90, is that where we're at, with how this all works? Or are you just going 90?
Well, I mean, but I would only be halved.
Mhm,
So,
right. So what's our total good movement rate?
So basically, for swimming, we should be moving at 45, like once it's doubled and then half.
So 45 is here.
Okay, great. That's exactly where I want it to go up
Cool.
because I want to be able to hit them when they get to me. So yeah, just
Heck. All right, there we go. There's that. You guys are there, and you want to be the same 30 feet in the air. That's what you're going for.
yeah.
Cool. You have achieved your goal.
Okay.
All right.
And I guess I'll do a dodge action because I can't. My action was launching that big pillar of ice.
Yep. So you moved. You launched the pillar of ice. You are dodging on
Yeah.
top of a pillar of ice.
Yes, correct.
Maybe it's kind of like teetering back and forth, and you're like pointed on like the spindle of ice
Yeah.
right below your feet. All right. This is sounding pretty good here. Okay. Embers.
I'm gonna move up to the front of the ship.
Front of the ship. Boom. Okay, that's about as fronty as it gets right now.
And did we get a little bit closer?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so you are at about, like these guys on top, 60 feet. Front of the whale, 40 feet.
Okay, so those two guys that are together, I'm gonna acid splash.
Acid splash. What's the radius?
5 feet of the thing that's in front of it. So 5. So if I hit one, it's gonna.
Oh,
also
so you
hit
just get
the
to
other
bounce one spot. Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't even worry about that. All right, what's the save I made?
guy. Dex save.
Dex save
Beat
versus
14.
14.
I believe it's 14. Let me make sure. Might have gone up. Nope.
Yeah, no. Absolutely no
hit it?
saving of any kind.
Okay.
You have anti-saved.
Six damage.
6 damage. They are both bathed in acid, and you hear,
Trippy.
yeah. So you have to refer to training column and neutral.
Stegosaurus tabaxi monks are absurdly awesome. That's what you need.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we already knew that about Aurora, so there's always that.
I mean, just think about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because 2 more classes, 2 more level ups, and she can start doing that shit.
I know, I'm looking forward to it, because then I have a reason to have these excellent combat tiers.
Right.
That's what they're for.
She can start running up
And
trees.
also, sorcerers are going to be able to fly at some level soon. It's
Yeah.
going to be pretty crazy.
I think
Okay.
we get wings at 15.
15's coming up. We're going to get there. All right, so we got all this stuff going on. Embers, is there anything else involved there?
No, I'm good.
Simple, just acid splash, just to make sure they don't have fun. Cool. Okay, Theophraxis.
From where I'm sitting, do I see any obvious big holes in the undead web?
Yes. It is on my side of the whale, but there is a very large cavity in the whale.
Okay. While the boat's pulling up, I'm going to take out the gunpowder, one of the gunpowder cakes I have,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to fix a fuse to it.
Okay, check.
Put that on my.
That's your action. You're using an item, fixing this fuse, getting it all set up. It's a hefty gunpowder keg. Totally sounds good. Okay, that's it.
That's all I can do. That's my action. I'm going to hunker down and wait.
Sounds good. Arvin.
Okay. How far away is the guy that's floating from me?
Guy that's this guy?
Mm-hmm.
90 feet.
90 feet?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm casting Guiding Bolt.
Guiding bolt.
Wow. So 27?
Yes, that's going to hit him. Unfortunately, for some reason, he doesn't have an armor class of 28.
Wait, who got hit?
He's kill stealing on you. Everyone is always kill stealing on you.
No, it's good, because Guiding Bolt gives me advantage when I
Holy moly!
Everyone likes cleric spells, let's face it. It is a great spell.
And 21 points of damage.
Right. Okay, so there's a downside to being a wizard dude. Oh, never mind. I love being a
There's
wizard
no
dude.
downside.
There is an upside. When you hit him, the energy around him actually seems to surge up, and the storm gets a little bit bigger and thicker, and you are just a little too far away, but all around him, Aurora, lightning sparks out in a ring. You are nowhere near it, but it is clearly all around him when he hits it.
Okay.
And
Well,
yeah,
hopefully
wrong
you
with
can
that.
only do that so many times.
But anyways, now that we've cleared that
Oops.
So is the Guiding Bolt on him?
up,
Or?
oh yeah, he is lit up like a Christmas tree. So the boat continues forward, and she's just going for it. It looks like you were going to full-on ram this whale.
Awesome.
Ramming the whale.
Yep, it's pretty clear she is going for a ram. Fang up again here on top, just hanging on, and you know what? He's Fang. He's going for it. Yeah. He awkwardly climbs off the front of the boat and jumps onto the whale. Yes, clearly. But he makes it like there, and he's probably a little farther down, but this whale is a little bit sculpted. I gotta make it a flatter whale next time. So he's doing that. He's up on the whale, doing his thing. The whale people, he go great. Fang looks like an excellent target. And they all come down to attack him. Yep, come on, dudes. Yeah, I have 3 dice. I have 2 hits. Let's get some numbers for hitting Fang with stuff. It's not going to be terribly large points of damage here. Okay. Fang gets beaten about a little bit. They're like scratching at him with claws. The swords he dodges, but it's the other hand that he misses on. They're just getting too close and they're ripping at his clothes and so forth. He's going to have to see the tailor after this. So that's unfortunate. Alright, so moving on to some more fun mage stuff.
Let's cut all 7 charges again.
Let's do a spell.
That can't get you cool yonder. Spells on spells on spells.
You do realize you're chanting for the other team, right, Allison? But they are...
Spells are fun in any.
In this case, it is especially true because Aurora needs to make a strength saving throw.
Well, that's terrible.
It's a DC 14.
Well, that's probably not going to happen. Well, actually, I've got +3 strength
It
saving.
could be happening.
Yeah, it
There could be a thing here.
I
Does her
could
dodging
spend
beforehand?
this right now.
You could spend that right now. That's definitely a thing. Okay, hey Allison, can I have this jackal?
Oh, you want it gone now.
I don't want to forget.
13.
Oh, 13. Oh,
What, I need to make 15?
14.
14?
14. You are blown 15 feet back. You suffer no falling damage because you're Aurora, and you land on the water like a petal. A flower petal just gracefully drifting down, but you are not on your ice spike now.
Okay, can I try to make a dex sort of thing to, like, move through the air to, like, get on the whale?
No, you got blown 15 feet away from the spellcaster.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, would have been kind of cool.
Alright.
Okay, so there is that. And now that we have finished that, the gust of wind is continuing. Just so that we're clear, I should template this out because it's continuing and range, shape. It's just a lot. It's not going to be a cone or any sort of other interesting shape. So we've got that. Arcanite spell templates activate. Yeah, 60 by 10. It's like crazy big like that. Okay, so that's not quite right, but he's got this cone thing. I'm not going to search a lot more for spell templates, but he is gusting wind and everything. So we continue on now to Aurora's turn.
Oh, are we back at the top?
Back at the top.
Well, climbing up the 30-foot pillar of ice is probably not going to happen.
No.
How close am I to the front of the whale?
You are very close. You are 15 feet away.
Okay, can I manage to get up onto the whale?
So your normal movement's what, 40?
45, yeah.
Yeah, so you can be up here next to Fang.
Okay, whoops. Bye.
You know what? That's just how life goes. Sometimes you fall off the whale.
Alright, I'm going to start just hitting dudes because I can't really do anything about...
You have a selection of dudes you can hit.
Okay, I'm just punching whoever's closest.
Cool.
Who's not my brother.
Oh, darn. All right. That's, if you
wanna
want
be
to qualify
I
like
want
that,
to be
that's
clear
fine.
on that. Does a 17 hit?
Does a 17 hit? Yes, handily.
Okay,
These things are
cool.
no match for your sword's power, or for your monkey power prowess.
Yeah, this is some bludgeoning damage here.
Yeah.
Magical bludgeoning damage. First one is 8 points of damage.
Okay, got it.
Then I'm gonna wheel around and jab him in the chest.
Yep. And that's a punch jab, you're saying?
No, that's quarterstaff still.
Okay,
It's my
still 2
second
fighting
quarterstaff
attacks. Got
attack.
it.
12.
Well, okay.
That hits.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. For 14 points of magical damage.
Okay. Yeah. So 14 and 8. I'm gonna make a save here. Still up.
Okay. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do my bonus kick.
Bonus kick.
Well, I definitely hit because that's like 25.
Yeah.
Magic kicks. And that is for 8 more points of bludgeoning damage.
Still up. Yep.
Zombies, they suck.
You were doing good, but I am doing okay on what I'm doing too. Yeah, you've easily knocked this thing out twice, but you know what I am going to do? Dex saving throw for staying on the whale. That it fails.
Okay.
Wow. Cool. Okay, so we've got Aurora's attacks out of the way. Embers is up.
I'm gonna cast a Scorching Ray on the big guy up there. Tall guy.
This guy, the
Yep.
sorcerer.
Shout to everyone on the whale.
Okay. Scorching Ray.
So I have to attack using my thing. I only get +5 on these because I'm using my circlet. So first attack is a 23.
Absolutely. Yes.
Second attack is a 22.
Yes.
Third attack is an 11.
2 out of 3 is not bad, right?
Yep. And then I have another stat that I love adding to things. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
You know what I want? I want some water.
That's pretty good roll. 10, 16, 22 damage to the guy.
Damage to the guy. Okay. That is a large amount of damage. Now, earlier he got hit for like 13, 16, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, first off,
Does it get halved?
no. Is there something you want me to have it for?
No. I was just wondering because I'm like looking at him and I'm like,
Is there
do
a reason
it.
that I can have
Do a
it?
thing where you're like immune to fire or something.
No, he has no immunity to fire whatsoever. He seems, if anything, to be vulnerable to fire. Not like damage vulnerability, but yeah, he has normal human skin. He gets
Okay,
burnt to
good.
things. Yeah.
What does he look like, by the way, this guy?
He looks vaguely human, with just like kind of like a sullen, pale cast, like very northerner. Light skin, light hair, big black cloak with all sorts of skulls and things like that adorning it as jewelry. And at this point, he also looks like he's fallen.
Oh. Yeah, I guess he would have lost his concentration.
There is that. So he is in water. I'll just keep this over here for later. And Aurora died. Or fell.
No.
Not died. That's gonna take.
No,
a lot
she's
more.
dead.
That's gonna take so much more. All right, so we got all that going, and what is up next? We are on Sean. Allison, did you have more stuff for Embers?
No, that's it.
Okay. Sean, you're up.
So here's a weird question. Does the whale look like it is just sort of passively there as a boat, or is it like being all threatening, like it's gonna like try to eat us too?
Well, that's a great question. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like it's trying to eat anything. It does seem to be moving on the same course as the boat. So next round you might find out.
Okay.
That's what I wanted.
Am I close enough to jump?
Well, Fang made it.
Right. It's Fang though.
Yep.
I mean, how far away is the whale from?
This is 15 feet at the smallest point. So you only have to make a 15-foot jump.
Not too bad.
What is your strength?
Strength. Can I throw in an acrobatic?
You know. Well,
It's-
first off, we're just going by like how far you can jump.
Oh, my strength is 14.
14. So what? You can jump 7 feet. Is that how it goes? Long
Yeah, you
jump
have
is
that.
half. Yeah.
Okay.
Or is that height?
No, that's long jump is half your strength.
I think we're correct. I am going to take the
And you have to have a
chance.
10-foot running start to do a long jump.
Well, he does have run. He could run over people and so forth, especially being so gnomey. Okay, jumping, long jump. You cover up to the number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet. So it's the other way around.
Okay.
That was the thing I was concerned about. That we're
So a
talking
standing jump is half.
vertical. Yeah. So
and
here,
a long jump is.
right? You can make that.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be an athletics check.
Sure. I'm gonna put the cape. Oh wait, that's an action that puts it in the back of the bag though.
I'm going to say that if you really want to make it happen, you can make it happen. I'm just going to make it that much harder for you to make the jump check.
Okay, I'll just put the bag back in. I put the gunpowder back in the bag. I don't want to fall in the huh? Okay. I don't want to have the. I don't want to fall in the water
You
with
just
the keg.
hold this keg in your arms like a baby and just run and jump onto that whale. That's the athletics check you can make.
What the hell am I not?
Yeah,
I got
that's
like
right.
4 more kegs.
D&D.
Great.
Here we go.
All right. Athletics.
Yep, athletics.
24.
24, and you handily land on the whale.
Okay.
That is all of your movement. So you are just perched at the tip of this whale, right next to Aurora, with a keg of gunpowder in your hands.
Yeah.
Life is good.
And then I'm going to scream, I'm going to blow up the weapon.
It's a good thing to scream. Okay, Harvin, you're up.
Okay.
There's a hole in its side.
I know, right? Well, yeah, I would put the keg in. You know what? I'm going to burn my other action.
You're going to burn your other action right now. Okay?
I'm
No,
sorry,
no,
yeah,
no.
I'm using my bonus action to move up to the
Hole
to
in
the
the whale.
hole.
Okay, that is about 25 feet, so that is doable
There's
for
some
you.
attack opportunities.
There are. You're going to have 2
Oh.
attack opportunities that happen as you run by.
All right, whatever.
That's all right. If I crit, I'm also going to take out that keg of dynamite while we're at it, or keg of gunpowder while we're at it. I didn't, but what is your AC?
16.
Okay. You take 5 points of damage from grubby undead fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a tetanus booster later.
It's okay.
You are at the
5.
massive hole in the whale, which displays broken bits of rib and so forth, and you can see deep into the meat of the creature. There's definitely no lacticants, there's just coagulated blood, a little bit of putrescence there.
Okay, I'm going to light the fuse and drop it in.
Great. That sounds great. You do that, make a dexterity.
So how much? Okay, so I want enough time on there for everyone here to jump off.
I'm going to say it's probably like a 2-round fuse. Does that sound like what you want, or you want less time than that? You want a 1-round fuse?
Yeah, 1 round would be good because then that would get through.
So you're going to have 6 seconds before this goes off.
Maybe just jump
Can I ask
into
a
the
quick
water.
question?
Yes.
The dynamite would be a deck save?
Yeah, jumping off this whale in whatever way is going to be dex save.
Right. I'm just trying to time it for when it actually blows up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to say a dex save. Okay, so you light it,
Yeah, I light it,
you
drop it in,
throw it in there.
and then use the rest of my movement to jump off.
You have no more
I
movement.
don't know where.
Also, you need to make a dex save because these gases inside this whale are flammable, and you've just struck a match.
Ooh, that's gonna suck.
I mean, we'll see. You're really good at dex saves.
Yeah.
Yeah, see.
15.
Okay. The air flashes up around you. You take 1 point of damage
Okay.
as you burn your eyebrows
Oh,
out.
this is gonna be awesome.
It's eyebrow damage.
Yay! I'm very sad that I can't
cure
cure
that.
damage.
Those are gone.
Forever, you're gonna be them tattooed on you now. That's great.
Gotta start painting him on that.
Yep, you thought that healing match could cure anything, but no, not eyebrows.
That's its one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was my
Yeah, no,
that was my action.
Eyebrows
surge.
aren't technically living, so
If you have any other actions, I will be
if you
surprised.
lose hair, it can't really
Yeah,
do
because I
anything.
use my
They're
bonus
undead.
action. Yeah, that's all I can do. And so next turn I jump off the whale and it goes off.
Yes, that's what we're shooting for. Okay, Arvin,
Okay, I've watched all this happen.
you saw a keg of gunpowder get thrown into a whale.
I turn around and face the crew.
Yes.
So with Obriana, there's about 9 people on there, right?
Yes.
Including myself. Water walk on all of us.
Water walk on all of you. That is kick-ass. Okay. I will begin looking up what the heck you just did, and I'm sure it's awesome. If you want to narrate anything to
Are you
kill
worried
this
that the
awkward
boat's about to
silence.
be destroyed?
I'm worried that bits of falling whale are going to knock people overboard.
Yeah. Yep.
That is so tight. It works perfectly for you. All these people are going to be able to just walk on the water at their normal movement rate.
How many people can you snap?
10.
10. Nice.
So he got the entire boat.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, there are actually 11 people on the boat. Now that I'm counting the boat, just so we're clear.
Okay.
Because there is Obriana and yourself and.
I mean,
Amber.
Okay, then leave myself.
Okay. Everyone else can water walk.
This is clearly not
yeah.
the boat that they were talking about earlier that has the shield on it, though.
This isn't a boat.
No.
That's a whale. You guys have all identified it correctly. It's a whale at this point.
Yes, but the guy flying through the air, is that the guy that we're looking for? Is that some other dude?
Yeah.
Here's
even
a
if it
question.
was.
Do you want to make an Arcana check?
She's
Like, I don't care.
Well, as long as people get zapped, you're happy, huh?
Yeah, if it's the guy, we were gonna kill him anyway, so it's kind of
fair
like
enough.
9.
No. Okay. The
Oh,
signature,
sorry, 11.
the presence of this creature is not as strong as whatever you were feeling before. The sorcerer you pinged is not the sorcerer.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you water walked everybody. You're just hanging out on the boat otherwise? Cool. You're all set. So we move back to my round, which is Obriana says, did he just throw a keg of gunpowder in that whale?
Yes, he did.
And she is hard pulling on the tiller. You know what? I'm going to make a check. Oh, she's good. Okay. She is pulling hard to the side now, like this, as the boat starts trying to get away from the whale. So, maybe like one more point. Okay, so there's that. Fang, he is going to take his first attack on one of these guys, and he hits them and does some damage of some kind. Let's just roll this die because it's close. And then he's going to do a second attack, which is also going to hit. And he has also attacked this guy. They're going to make a dex save. They're going to stay on that whale. Fang is done, and he's kind of back to back with you, Aurora. But he's got his rapier out, and he's doing his attacks.
Cool. I am going to hit the whale
Okay, cool. You're going to hit the whale. I'm going to...
with my quarterstaff.
Yeah. The whale's still going forward. This guy's kind of glubbing up onto the whale. Got all that covered.
I'm just trying to
Okay.
slow it down, basically.
You're going to hit the whale. Cool.
I'm hitting the whale.
Awesome.
Do I guess I can make a roll.
Yes, because this is
Yes!
really, this is if you were hitting proper points on the whale versus hitting blubber and things that won't proper.
Natural 20.
Nice. That is going to be a hit.
Cool.
Right in the blood hole.
Con check DC 14 for the whale.
Okay, now, spoilers. Whales are good at con checks.
Sure they are.
No one has a point.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, well, I didn't want it to,
No, it's cool. I mean, I understand what you're going
I'm
for.
trying to prevent it from hitting the boat.
Yeah.
Because exploding whale hitting the boat seems terrible. And I would have asked him to please.
No. We should see how this works out.
I'm curious too.
I believe when he ran by, like, I'm gonna blow up the whale. She would have been like, what?
Yeah, there are some things to discuss later on.
You
The whale.
went a whole turn warning.
The whale takes. It's not. It's an exploding whale heading at the ship that we're on.
Will hopefully have an exploding
I am ready for this whale to be damaged.
Okay, so 18 points of damage from
Okay.
hitting it.
The whale is hit for 18 points of damage.
Right. My next hit's
And it
gonna be
dies.
on one.
It's like it's a resounding thud. You can feel it like kind of reverberate through the skull of this whale, and it makes no difference whatsoever.
I was just trying to knock
That's
out.
great. Let's keep it going. This
All
is a
right.
very large whale, after all.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and hit one of the guys now
Awesome.
because I don't think that const is gonna happen.
This is the one that Fang has been hitting. So if
Yeah,
you're
I'll go
interested in
for
Sure.
Oh, that definitely hit.
So you like slam
that's
the end
like
of the staff
23.
down, and then you like whip it behind your back to hit this guy who's
Yeah.
creeping up slowly on you. Sure.
Yep, just like whack, wheel around, whack.
And Fang is at least not startled enough to get hit by the staff, so that's good.
I wouldn't hit him anyway. 8 points bludgeoning,
Okay, cool.
magical bludgeoning.
It manages to stay on the wheel.
Cool. Now I'm gonna kick it.
All right.
Can I kick it?
Yeah, you can kick it. Come on, Aurora. Have some confidence.
20
Totally hits. Yeah.
for another 7 points of damage.
7 points more damage. That's one thing. That is the other thing. It falls and crumples and acts dead in the water.
Okay, cool.
Okay, movement.
I'm not moving this round.
Awesome. I like this play. It's a good play. All right, continuing on. Embers.
I am going to hold for when the whale explodes. And what do they basically do?
Use an item. Are you talking about just what are you going to ready?
Yeah, I want to ready for like when it explodes. I basically like kind of shield myself or sort of try to dodge like whatever's going to be thrown at me. Cause it's,
I mean, you can just dodge if you want to dodge. If you want to have something like where you're throwing up your shield spell, you know, where it's normally a reaction, I mean, you don't have to spend anything for that. So you can
Yeah.
have that in ready.
I'm actually gonna
Wall of fire.
yeah, I
No.
guess,
All right, fine,
Rude.
fine, that's fine.
um,
That's why I'm not playing the game.
Well, let's get off the whale first.
You can fireball right on top of Aurora. She totally gave you permission. Unfortunately, her brother's standing right next to her.
He is much more flammable than Aurora.
On the other hand, if he's an actual swashbuckler, he has evasion.
Yes, but I usually roll 20s for bad guys, not for Fang. Fang's been rolling like okay so far. Obrienne is great apparently, but Fang,
I'm just saying, like, rogues are good at minimizing damage if they so desire.
Yeah, but he's really good at rolling for buying hats and for like making 50 comments, not necessarily for fighting.
I'm sorry, I'm taking
No, that's good. Go ahead and take your turn. While you're doing your thing, I don't have anything I need to prep. I'm just going to be thinking about the landscape of the battle, preparing for a whale to hit a boat, an undead whale to hit a boat while on fire, and just really enjoying that sentence.
Okay, so I'm just gonna enact dodge. So if the whale attacks, however the whale attacks, whether it's exploding pieces,
Yes.
it's gonna have a disadvantage on me.
Sure. I mean, that's better than not, right? As a bonus.
The whale guts have disadvantage on their attack.
As a bonus, why don't you go ahead and make the Arcana check, Storm Sorcerer, or Sorcerer Senses again. And you know what? Go ahead and take advantage naturally on this because you're staying still and you're not distracted.
Okay, that's good advantage.
Hey.
Nat 20, so it's a 26.
Perfect. The signal of this creature out here, that sorcerer is definitely still alive.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a second sorcerer out here that is stronger.
Just watching.
No.
Eating popcorn. Okay.
No. Approaching
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I saved all my spells.
rapidly.
Um,
So that's what you know now.
Do you give the rest of us that warning?
I don't think I really have time.
You got 6 seconds. This is a 6-second round. All this is happening while Theophrax is trying to run and jump off of a whale that he just is about to explode.
I'm just gonna shout out, be careful.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Thanks, Mom.
So, when is the whale going to explode?
At the end of this round.
At the
When
end
I
of-
hit 0 initiative, it's going to explode.
Okay. Alright, so then can I take my water breathing potion and jump off the whale?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna take my water breathing potion and jump off the whale.
Explore.
Move down as far down into the water.
You go down.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, Arvin.
Shoot. You know what? I'm just gonna cast Sacred Flame on the.
Whale.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a totally valid action, but you gotta be, it would just be the best ever. It's a dex save, right?
Yep.
I guarantee you it's not gonna make it.
Okay, makes sense.
Moved!
All right, 7 points
On the whale?
on the point. On
Yeah,
the whale.
Radiant
I'm not even
damage
gonna roll
on
for
it.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna give it some additional bump there. That's great. Okay. Yeah, okay, the whale seems more damaged than average by that, which means that you see a visible mark on the whale.
Alright.
Take that.
Awesome. Okay, Obriana begins steering, like she's trying to take it another point over like this. So she's got about 15 feet between the whale and the ship. Seems pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And at the same point, Fang says, "Are we getting off?" Maybe he's getting off. He is not doing well with this rolling dice thing. And he runs and jumps in the water next to the boat. So there's that.
Well, I'm gonna read the rules on evasion. Because
Yeah.
that's my plan, is to just ride this shit out.
These people are moving up. They don't seem to really get the message that something's going on as much as they get the message that Aurora is made of meat.
By yourself.
Yeah, if it's normally a dex saving throw to avoid the damage from this blast,
Uh-huh.
then yeah, I'm riding it out.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying you feel like Fang should have just waited for it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Aurora
You're just gonna sit on the whale and
Were you going to tell him? Or do you think he should have just jumped in the water?
Oh, when he jumped to the, like he said, should I go? And I was like,
All right. Your extreme confidence in your brother just didn't jump in the water. That's fine. That's how real brother and sister relationships work. Okay, Aurora, you're going to be attacked at.
yeah, by
You were
one
gonna
dude that
have
can reach me.
The one dude who can reach you is going to make 2 longsword attacks on you.
Okay.
No, you know what? He's going to die in 2 seconds. I'm going to go for the life drain.
Okay.
All right, and he hits you.
Does he? He hits a 19.
He hit a 22, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he hits you for 4 points of damage, and you have to make a con save.
Okay.
You should do really well.
My con save is 18.
You totally made it, and the necrotic energy does not take any sort of further damage upon you, so there's no lasting damage.
Okay,
You
so
got hit, you shrugged it off.
So 4 points of damage?
4 points of damage. Yeah, I'm glad I went life drain. Felt right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Felt right.
So it's 0 in the initiative. Okay, Theophraxis, roll 5d12 damage.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
I mean, it's a whale.
The whale's attacking you?
No, the
You
whale is
need
blowing
one.
up.
This is
You know
inside
what?
of the
Just-
whale.
just
The
grab
inside of the whale, 5d12 damage.
I'm not in the whale. I jumped off
No,
the
I
whale.
didn't say
into
you were inside the
No,
whale.
but
I
this
said-
is to see if the whale.
You are damaging the
guts.
whale with your giant cask of gunpowder, which is not really that giant, and it's a whale. So,
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, the
It-
whale does
This
measure
is
on the
gonna hurt.
table. Okay, just so we're clear, this whale is 60 feet long on the table.
Right. See, this is the thing is I wasn't really confident that the whale was going to completely explode due to a camera
35.
thing.
35. The whale shakes. There is like a tremor in the body. Aurora, go ahead and make a very easy for you dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I have one of those guys.
Yeah, I've got a 19 on that.
He falls off. Okay, so you are in no way phased by all this rock.
Well, that wasn't damage on me.
No, that was not. That was not you being damaged.
You're off the bed.
Yeah, that's what I was like. But how am I getting damaged? Okay.
Blorp. And then finally the last guy. Oh yeah. All these guys still on the whale. Whale still intact-ish. Not more intact than before.
Aw.
And this guy is not having a great time. Okay, cool. So with all of that having enacted...
That's it?
Dude, you tried to blow up a whale with like one cask of dynamite.
Sure.
And you know, if you can hold it, it's not that big. The wheel is 60 feet long.
Sure.
Yeah. This isn't like Jaws where like a
I
thing
know.
like.
That would have been awesome, though.
Okay, so we have 20 minutes to wrap this up, just so everybody knows, and we are back at the top of the round.
Okay, cool. I'm hitting the guy right in front of me.
Okay, you were hitting the guy right in front of you. Go ahead and make some attacky rolls that hit people in front of you.
19.
19 is totally a hit.
Cool. You know what? I'm using Dawn's Fang on this now.
Cool.
Actually, no. I'm using the quarterstaff to begin with. This guy goes off the whale.
Yeah.
Then I'm whipping out Dawn's Fang and hitting the next guy.
Okay, cool. They both match it. They're both going to be useful in this case.
That is for 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Nice. Okay, so that is a large amount of damage, and he is still totally upright.
Okay, cool. Actually, I rolled the wrong die. Hold on a second. Let me recalculate that. 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, cool.
I don't want to cheat and roll a d10, which is what I did.
Fair. Very fair.
And so then I I'm still using the quarterstaff because this guy's within 5 feet.
Yep.
So I'm just going to whack him with the other side of the quarterstaff.
Other side of the quarterstaff, just
That definitely hit him
yeah. Awesome.
for 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
So we're at 27, right? Okay, he's still up.
Okay. Oh, this guy's got some good amounts.
He did just use electro attack on you.
Oh, true. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and flurry of blows this guy. You know what? No, because I know the really big bad's coming up, so I'm not gonna flurry of blows. I'm just gonna bonus kick him. 12.
12. Okay.
Does that hit?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So that's your round right now. Anything further you want to do?
No, because I just used my bonus action to do that kick, so I can't also use it to dodge.
Okay. The fog is really dying down now for whatever reason. This has a couple effects. Number one, this guy seems really affected by this suddenly bright light.
Yeah.
So that's not great for him. He's kind of like shying away and inching down, and there's like wisps of steam almost rising off of him. Number two, as the fog dies away, you are able to tell that there is a very large piece of ice that is going directly at the Proud Keeper.
Okay.
There is a lady on the back. Okay.
Oh, the Revenant's a lady?
No. All right. Ready. Set. Embers.
I'm gonna roll an Arcana check on the lady.
Yeah. Sorcerer senses. Yeah, that's fair.
Much better.
That's what Cthulhu's for.
Yes. 13 on the Arcana, or I'm sorry, not 13, 23 on the Arcana check.
That's a multi number.
What do I get from that?
Yeah, this is the source of the sorcerer senses you were picking up before, you think. Also, she is carrying whatever that staff is a very strong magic item. It seems to be enhancing whatever she is doing right now.
Okay. I'm going to cat. How far away is she?
We're 50 feet.
Can I tell what she is?
Like race.
Yeah.
From here, human-ish.
Okay. Was me casting the Arcana like a bonus action, or what was it?
Yeah, you don't have to make an action for that. You got the Arcana check.
I'm gonna cast Darkness Surrender.
You're going to cast Darkness around her. Okay, cool. Let's do that. You cast Darkness. It's my quickest way to darkness spell.
Magical darkness spreads from point around you, choosing a 15-foot radius sphere from the duration. A dark spins around the corner. Creature with dark vision. Creature with dark vision can't see through this darkness, and non-magical light can't illuminate it. If you want to destroy it, so they are covered in darkness, and they can't see through
Yeah.
it, which means they can't see what they're casting at.
Here we go. Darkness. Arcanite. Spell templates. Okay, she is
If
darkness.
wants to step forward or sideways, she's probably falling off the ice.
You know what? There is that. Yeah, there's a strong possibility she will have trouble on her iceberg.
And the darkness is actually cast on the iceberg. Is that
It's cast on her, so
gotcha?
like around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Point you choose.
Nice.
All is good. So what's that?
Being slightly disappointed that it didn't.
Oh, sorry. Any more movement? Anything like that?
No.
Okay.
So
Got
being
it.
slightly disappointed that bits of whale get sink of flying everywhere. I'll surface and try to get back up onto the whale.
You can get like here. You get like 5 feet of whale movement because it takes you
Yeah, sure.
half your movement just
Yeah.
because of the water. Okay.
And I actually have shouted on my turn, "Get out of the damn water," to my brother.
Yeah, you shouted it to him, and he said, "Oh, I'm doing that." Okay, looks good. So you moved. You're on the whale. Good.
That's all I got. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Arvin.
Okay, so that whale is definitely on a collision course with the boat.
It certainly seems likely.
Okay.
You also are aware of the iceberg on the other side of the boat. So you do have a whale on an iceberg. It's not quite a rock and a hard place, but it'll do it.
I take the holy symbol from around my neck, and I cast Turn Undead.
Okay.
On the
Radius
whale?
on
On
turn
the
undead.
whale.
Okay, right. That's
I'm so glad I have water breathing.
I guess it affects all the undead.
It does. It should affect everything there on the whale. And
yeah. Turning undead on an undead whale. Okay.
If it's
Reading
undead.
words. Oh, I know. I'm not doubting that part. We got that part
Oh,
covered.
are you checking if it means humanoids?
I need to see what we're looking at here. It's wisdom save. I'm so used to thinking about this as being a thing where it works on hit dice or challenge rating. So, okay, cool. Yeah, wisdom save, all right.
That whale's chock-a-block full of wisdom, though.
You know what? Seriously, if any
The
creatures in the
wisest
water
whale.
are wise, it is the whale. But not this whale.
Oh.
Generally, it is the whale. So you know what? All the other checks are moot. But
Because he's probably gonna die. That's what whales do
okay,
when they're
the important
scared.
thing is just so you know, other things are better at doing this than the whale. But yeah, the whale has been turned.
Whoa.
I would like you to add this to your like bucket list cleric accomplishments. When Arvin's like
Turn an undead
reflecting
whale.
back, yeah, in his like
Turn an undead
retirement
whale,
home,
turn an
later
undead
on, turned an undead whale.
And that's when old Stinky came out.
I am proud of this moment in our gaming history, to be sure.
And we've been really killing it today on doing weird stuff.
That's really what makes the game worthwhile. So this is now happening. Aurora, you are aware of the fact this whale is rapidly banking to the right.
Okay.
You know what? That sounds like a series of checks for the
It
creatures
does
on
sound
the back.
like dexterity checks, right?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Okay.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Dex save.
Dex save.
Oh, I more than made that. That's a 26.
You levitate several feet in the air, handily bypassing the whale. You're fine. You're good. Okay, so all of that has happened now, and we are back to everybody else's turn. Oh, Brianna says, "What is going on?" And she just keeps this boat going forward as best she can this round. And that's it. Fang hooks a limb over it and gets on the back, and he says, "What is?" Oh. And he has nothing to say. He's just like splashing water off of himself at this point. He doesn't have any idea what's going on with this big black cloud of darkness over here. He can't even see there's an iceberg in it. So that's that part. The whale So Aurora, you don't have a reaction to move or anything like that, but the whale is turning as far away from Armin as it can.
Right.
So
I'm probably a good distance from the boat.
it is getting that way, that's for sure. Okay, so he's floating, so that's cool. This thing over here,
Theophraxis is still on
roll
it.
for it, and this is disadvantage. Yes. Okay.
Does Theophraxis need to roll dex to stay on it, or did you already?
I didn't roll anything yet. Should I?
I think so. You're
Yes,
standing
that's
on
actually a very
rubber.
good point. Theophraxis should be rolling to see if he stays on the whale.
Dex check?
Dex check.
Acrobatics?
No, dex saving throw.
16.
Okay, you're handily on the whale. The iceberg in its dark cloud over here
Are we
has
gonna stay on
totally
the
missed
whale?
the boat and veered far to the south. At this point, its intercept course
You
is
know
nowhere near
Aurora,
that.
and you know she's dumb. So yeah, she's staying on the whale.
Awesome. Alright.
Beginning of the round.
That tells me what I'm going to be doing.
This is our final round, probably tonight.
Okay. We're doing about Aurora now.
That's a great question because Aurora is on a whale.
Right. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm just continuing to attack the guy in front of me.
Go for it.
Alright. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna just whip out Dawn's Fang at this point. Is
There
that
you go.
okay? Do I need
Cool.
an action to do that, or that's just something
No,
that's
we're going to do that for a free action. You just keep it looped around your waist or
Yeah.
something cool like that.
Yeah, so that's a 26 to hit.
Yes, that is a hit.
I'm hitting it with the bludgeoning side, because I
Okay.
feel like bludgeoning's better against undead. I read that somewhere once.
Sure, yeah. You and Arvin have talked about undead killing techniques in your free time because, you know,
Yeah. For 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
okay. Yeah, at this point, this guy is done.
Okay. And then is that other guy within 10 feet of me?
You could move up about 5 feet.
Okay, yeah, I'll nudge forward and smack him with the other. Like, just, it kind of goes, it hits the first guy, wheels around, and then it hits this guy.
That sounds right. Sounds very good.
And that is a 26 to hit
Yeah, totally hits. Very, very good.
for 10 points of magical bludgeoning damage.
Okay, I'm gonna have him make a check to stay on the whale. Well, he is off the whale. Bloop, 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 bloop. You're gonna be all alone on this whale, sir.
Yeah. And I'm not close enough to this other guy, considering I'm standing on a freaking whale.
You know what? You're still fine.
Oh,
You
am
can
I?
keep moving up.
Okay, I'll move
Well-
up and
Yeah, because you're trying for an unarmed attack.
yeah, I'll go ahead and like basically run up on him
You're
and then
right there.
do a flying kick,
Go for it.
like in sort of windmill kicking him to try and knock him off the
Yeah,
whale.
sure. Let's go for it. I'll say what you can do is you can make an attack, and if you want to trade damage just for disadvantage on a saving throw, I'll do that with you.
Sure.
Cool.
Let's see. That is a 21 to hit him.
You got a 4. Everyone is off the whale except Theophraxis.
Right. And Aurora goes like, "I'm on a whale," and then falls through the whale,
hole.
like
Okay.
into it.
Yeah, you're in there somewhere. I can only represent that so much with movies.
How's that? How's that for her?
That's
Oh,
doing it for now. That's for sure.
That's amazing.
Okay, Embers.
That means I have to crawl up there and get you out.
Well, at this point, there's nothing
Not
else.
if you fail a dex
There's nothing to
check.
get, so I'm just gonna tell Brianna, or tell the people, row faster.
Row faster. Okay, make a performance check.
Row faster. Performance or
Performance.
persuasion?
Sure, persuasion's good.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? Intimidation. This sounds more commandy than anything else.
I have to bring it
Plus,
back
you know, I'm imagining if Allison
to
wants to roll
Robert's
something, she wants to roll
check.
intimidation.
17.
Okay, they begin
Row
rolling.
faster, worms!
They are motivated to roll
Roll
faster,
faster,
and they
worms.
recognize they are worms. Okay, Theophraxis, this whale is rapidly banking away from the ship, and Aurora is nowhere to be seen.
Did I see her fall into
Don't
the
worry,
hole?
Cat won't be here next week, so it's okay.
Oh, I'll be here next week. All right, fine. Then I guess I will leap off of the.
Or you could say that you go up there and notice that she fell into some weird, dark, swirling vortex.
He only has 25 feet.
Yeah, that's,
Or you could,
that's like 3 turns.
or you could just fall off the whale as it speeds up.
Yeah,
It's speeding up. As
I
best
will.
it
I
can.
will leap off.
Okay, so you have enough room to get a running jump. Your running jump is going to be 14 feet,
Yeah.
so you can get there.
Sure.
You splash into the water. Yes, you are in the water. The whale continues to wheel away like this. This iceberg continues to bank south. Brianna continues to go north.
That's one way to take care of the problem.
Awesome.
Time continues. We
So
are.
if that leaping was my action, I still get my movement.
So what you're saying is you want to dash onto the boat?
Yeah, I mean, can I swim as fast? Like, yeah, I want to get on the boat. That's my goal. I mean, how far?
You can be to the point where when the boat goes by, you
I can feel it.
it. So basically, one of the sailors like reaches out and like hand grabs you up,
Okay,
pulls you up into the boat.
that I won't have to do that.
Oh no, wait, you have the water breathing potions. That's not even an excuse. I was gonna say we could always say that the whale dove, but then your character can breathe underwater right now,
Yeah.
so you probably would have just stuck with it anyway.
As an interesting point, this is when the whale dies, and you lose sight of it. There are like floating undead. You see like fingers and hands and so forth, but the remnants of armor and so forth that were on these creatures, they're not floating very well. They are mostly sinking. Hang on. Your turn was already done. So as we are at this point, don't be sad, because we knew that Kat wasn't going to be here next week. So this gives her a perfect chance to, fight her way out of an undead whale.
Yeah, and Aurora's actions are honestly way too weird and unpredictable to be like, oh yeah, let's have somebody else
That
play
makes
her.
sense.
We know what's going to happen is that she's going to be right behind you when you guys go to look one of these days, and she'll tell you that she's been there the whole time. That is pretty typical.
Just playing. Ha, ha, ha.
Okay, so I know this is kind of like a unconventional ending to our totally conventional D&D game, but we have our big ship battle. We got an undead whale, totally avoided an iceberg, night full of highs. Now, to make things like one final thing, as you are continuing on, after this like epic, momentous battle with the iceberg and the whale and every other thing that somebody could come up with on no sleep and throw at you,
Aww.
it's not really that bad, it's like that. The ship is at the point now where, from the crow's nest, Theophraxis can see land. Out in the distance, you see that icy shore of the northern coast breaking, and there are like long peaks of ice and rock that stick out, but very clearly on the shore you see beached and rising at a high angle the wreck of a ship, which you're assuming must be the Baracus. Because as you look at it and its ruined masts and its like dilapidated form, at the very end of it, looking in your direction, there's a figure. It is on fire.
That's right, you had that description.
Well, my job is done.
That's right. That's right.
I've done everything
Yeah,
I
like,
can do here.
it's not gonna work on the sky fire stuff.
Additionally, as you hit that farthest point where you can see the form on the boat, Embers, your sorcerer senses are going off again.
On the person up there on fire?
That being on fire on the boat.
Okay, I was wondering if it was the other person.
You get sorcerer power. Basically, this entire game is all sorcerers. But this particular area does seem to have quite a connection to sorcery.
We'll have
So-
to find out why.
Yep. Next time on the Infinity Tower.
How
Yes.
How long does that take?
This going there. This is like the next morning
Okay, good. That's important.
because you wanted to get something back. Action surge.
And then, yeah, that too.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I wanted to clean my guns and stuff. so-
Okay.
You guys totally said that Aurora's totally dead.
Did we ever say
Yeah,
we picked you up out of the water?
One of the sailors picked him up, I guess.
I guess.
Well, she's inside of an undead whale at any rate.
I know. And to be honest, I wanted to say that Kat was going to be here next week a whole bunch of times because honestly, let's face it, the mission would be to go find an undead whale and claw through it and get Aurora out. But number one, we have 3 minutes, and number two, we knew Kat wasn't going to be here next week. So, Kat wanted to go out with a bang. She is now in an undead whale. Mission accomplished.
See, you weakened its structural integrity. That's why she fell through.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody, had a lot of fun tonight. Hope you guys had fun too. Let's keep up all the awesome gaming. And for people out there who may have watched us, thanks for checking out the show. We really appreciate when people get a chance to see what we're doing. We like to share with you, so feel free to talk to anybody on Twitter, tell us what you thought, and make sure you always make time to tabletop, because that's how we like to chat. Okay, good job, guys. Good job.